Did you ask ChatGPT whether we are recording today?
No, not yet. But oh man, dude, that'd be really scary. Maybe
it would have said no for sure.
Maybe you guys aren't real. Yeah, and I really should be on the Serum Business
Have
podcast.
you heard about like the dead internet theory?
Is that what?
I think, as far as I understand it, basically the whole idea is that ever since, like, I don't know, 2010, every, like, 90% of content on the internet is dead. It's only, like, bots talking to each other, or probably, like, way more than 90%, like, something like 98% of any kind of online interaction you witness is actually bots, like, playing against each other in computer games, talking to each other on Reddit, posting content, liking each other's content, to the point where, like, barely anything you actually see online is man-made. And
is this what you believe?
Oh, that's like the dead internet theory. And
okay.
Yeah, that just like reminded me of it, and that's kind of feeds into it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like sometimes you play Magic, like you play on Magic Online, and like your opponent makes such a bad play that you almost believe that it's ChatGPT, you know, that made that play. Like, you know, like the most common one, like turn one brainstorm, go, that thing.
Oh, dude, I used to do that, and I was winning tournaments back then.
Dude,
I mean, that tells you something about those tournaments, right?
Oh man, dude, we gotta talk about a lot of bad stuff today anyway. So like, let's not even start with like bad plays.
That's a fine play in this Bowmaster world.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna say you're living in the past.
Yeah, because Julian,
like so happy.
Because you did this like before Bowmasters, right?
I did this in 2010, 11.
Oh, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves is like when someone plays like a bad deck or a bad card for years and it's just bad and no one cares and they're like, this is my special card, and then something makes it good, like a new printing makes it good. They're like, see, I've been playing it for years. Like, oh my god, it's so annoying.
Yeah. I was so ahead of the game. I even knew which cards were coming up before people started playing them.
I was turn one brainstorming before it was good. And
yeah, dude, I like when I got my first level up as a player, which meant that all of a sudden I paid attention to what was going on the other side of the board. And I mean, I started playing Enchantress, right? So I didn't really pay all that much attention. Like the biggest piece of interaction and brain I had to use was Oblivion Ring, which is like, target something the opponent controls. But no, but I remember like my big level up was, hey, I'm gonna play my Brainstorm on my turn against the tempo deck on the first turn, so they can't daze it.
Yeah. You know what though? Like, I think there's a lot of scenarios where you can do that. I'm just making you sound not too bad. Actually, carry on. You sound.
I mean, it kind of depends on the texture of your hand, right?
Yeah,
like if you have like a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic or like something that, you know, if you have a nice curve, then you maybe is correct to.
Like if you have a hand that's like all like 3 Source Splashes and a Stoneforge Mystic, you just need to hit your second land. Then fine.
But you guys are giving me way too much credit. All I care about is using myself.
Because at the end of the day, like we were just stupid. You know what, guys? Like this is like completely off topic, but we should totally do another episode of like the worst plays we've done so far, because like there are so many insanely bad plays. Like for example, like once I was told that like the best forcible is the one you never cast, similar to the Brainstorm.
Oh my god, I can totally see where this is going.
Took this like I literally took this like, you know, for granted. So okay, so I just didn't force any spell of my opponent in the next game and I lost. So that was terrible.
You know what it reminds me of?
Yeah.
Like shoutouts to Pat and Jeremy. Jerry not mindbreak trapping the Infernal Tutor, or was it even like the Ad Nauseam? Yeah, because he wanted to mindbreak trap the Tendrils.
Because then they just lose. They can't kill you if you just do that. It's easy.
Oh, that was amazing.
I'll only see one. I've got loads of bad plays, I promise. But I think my favorite is just Spell Piercing a Daze. It's so classic and perfect.
That's a classic, yeah. It because it fits so nicely, right?
Yeah.
Spell Snare is also like really
nice.
Spell Snare Daze, yeah.
This was when Dig Through Time was legal, so there was an argument to like fill the graveyard, but that's not what was happening. It was just Spell Piercing a Daze.
Oh, guys. So after we figured out that Kai was actually basically asleep at what is this, like 8:30 in the evening?
Yeah, dude. Good. I was gonna say like good timing. I just woke up like 15 minutes.
God,
like
good thing you didn't have a flight to catch.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. I mean, in that case, I would have at the airport probably, but yeah.
Yeah,
good timing.
By the way, speaking of flights to catch, we all have to actually Kai, you and I have to book our flights to Impact Returns, right?
That is correct. Have
you already done so?
Not yet, but like probably after this podcast.
Yeah. And if you want to go to Impact Returns, once again, this is the third year in a row that Kai and I are going to be there. I think, Callum, you were the last year with us.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And once again, we're going to provide English commentary on the 25th, 26th, and 27th of July. And big thing this year, it's not only going to be English on Friday for the Spanish Legacy Championships and the Legacy Main Event on Saturday, but they also, actually, they got some pretty competent commentators, which is like, whoa, oh wait,
Yeah.
we have to step up our game. No, they're gonna have English
YouTube,
commentary in Modern on Sunday as well, which previously used to be Spanish, but we heard all of you guys. Apparently, there's a couple billion people out there who cannot speak Spanish. Yeah, well,
Not yet.
yeah. I was suggesting like German commentary. It was like, let's stick with the English. Okay, let's do it. So, guys, once again, this tournament has been growing every single year. Amazing place, amazing food, amazing people. Reasonably, it's not the easiest place to get to, but you are rewarded for it. So it's going to be taking place in Naron, Spain. So you fly to A Coruña. I guess you can also fly to Santiago de Compostela, or you can go on the pilgrimage, right? That would be something. I think if anybody shows proof of having done the full pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela, they should actually like get free entry into a tournament or something.
Like they should like receive like
a round by.
Yeah, like a round by. Yeah, dude, that one. Give us the good stuff back. Nice.
Yeah. But if you want, well, I guess we have free entry into all the tournaments available because, drumroll, I love that. We have a golden ticket. We literally have a golden ticket. The thing from, was it Charlie in the Chocolate Factory or something? You can enter the tournament and you don't pay anything. You don't pay anything for the main events. You don't pay anything for the side events. I think there's like very, very few exceptions for the side events.
Yeah, you can't play 8-mans, I think, because otherwise you're probably gonna go crazy.
Free roller.
You just like, yeah, you go in, you drop, you go in, you go drop, you go in, you go drop. You always get like the min cash out or something.
Yeah.
There was a tournament like that, by the way, but I'm gonna get into that in a moment. So if you want to win that one golden ticket we have available, we were actually thinking long about what we can do because we want the golden ticket, of course, to go to somebody who's gonna attend the tournament. Otherwise, it would be pretty wasted, right? So if you want a ticket. And I think they really should print a golden ticket, by the way, that you can just, wave around on the weekend, just like, hey, look at me, free entry into everything. And the whole idea is the more you suck, the more value you get, because then the more side events you get to enter. If you want to win that, we are actually going to have a tournament. We're going to have a tournament. I don't have the exact day yet. We will probably post it, maybe even as soon as this podcast comes out, very soon. It's gonna be on everyday-eternal.com, also all over the Discord and on our Patreon. There's gonna be a tournament. The tournament format will depend on how many people actually sign up for it, because it's really hard to estimate whether it's gonna be like 2 or 200. I would think it's probably gonna be something like 16. We'll see. The tournament is going to take place on Magic Online, but you do not need a Magic Online deck. You don't even need to know how Magic Online works. If you do, that's great. Then you can enter a tournament. And if you don't, you can actually name a champion. You can name a champion who will play for you in, what's it called? Death by trial? No, the other way around, trial by combat. You can name a champion who plays for you in that tournament. And if your champion wins, then you get the golden ticket.
Wow, that's almost like summoning a Pokemon.
It is like summoning a Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
I've got my Nick Fit deck ready to go. Who wants me?
I was gonna say we should probably all suggest very bad decks that we have as like
Nick Fit. It's your turn. Ravenous Pellet, smash.
I didn't say bad. You did.
Oh. Okay, no. So I'm gonna pick one of the decks I'm gonna talk about today. That's my deck.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have the worst decks in the history of Magic later today, or Legacy rather. So you can either name a friend, an enemy, or you can name either one of us 3. So I guess first come, first serve in that regard. Now we're going to get like 10 emails about, hey, I want to pick Julian, And it's like, oh, we only have like this.
No one's going to want to.
No, because I was going to do so I don't know.
You're going to pick me?
Like, I was going to pick you.
Dude, you have to commentate. Like, the ticket would be so wasted on you. Villainous arc unlocked. Okay. So if you want to sign up for the tournament, just send an email to Julian@everyday-eternal.com. Just let us know what's your proper full name, whether you want to, not whether you want to, I assume you want to compete in the tournament if you send us. And yeah, I guess we're going to have more information about that up on the website very soon, probably something later this week, just so you already heard about it. And I assume it's going to be some kind of single elimination thing and the winner takes all. But there's going to be more information on the website. I haven't posted it yet. If you go to the website and it's not up there yet, it's because a horse kicked me or something, or I was just like too lazy to do it in time.
Just happens all the time in Berlin.
Yeah, in Berlin especially.
Yeah.
I grew up on a horse farm. Did I talk about that? Anyway. So Julian at everyday-eternal.com. Also check out impactreturns.com. There's going to be all the information about how you can, but I guess qualify for the legacies. No. If you don't qualify for the Spanish Legacy Nationals, there's also going to be a team trio event. How does the team trio work? Does the golden ticket qualify like all 3 players for the team trio? We will figure that out, right? That would be even more value.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah. we will see. So, yeah.
The guy has to play all 3 formats. Yeah, I know.
All 3 formats, like you have 3 arms. Yeah, that's how it works. Cool. So, honestly, like, I think that's really cool. Like, the whole idea of, like, hey, I'm going to be here all weekend. It's all free. Like, whatever, this. Let's do it. By the way, there was one more story I wanted to share that I quickly touched on. There was a tournament, like a card market tournament, like one of those, JK Entertainment tournaments, something like 8 or 10 years ago in Milan. And they had 8-mans. And the first and second place player in those 8-mans would get a Misty Rainforest and a Liliana of the Whale. That's what they announced. Then a couple weeks later, the tournament starts. And the tournament was like, I want to say like 10 euros to enter. So altogether, there were 80 euros going into, well, people paid 80 euros for that tournament. But the cards they gave out were worth something like 150 or something. Like during those couple of weeks, Liliana of the Whale and Misty Rainforest climbed in price. So at some point, people figured this out, and there were literally 8 guys who would sign up, quickly fill out the entire tournament tree, submit it, re-sign up. They would just like give us, we want to buy these 2 cards, which are worth like 100 something for 80 euros. And they kept doing it until those guys ran out of cards. And to
that's
me,
insane.
That's insane, right?
Wait, so are you telling me that Liliana of the Veil was like that expensive back in the day?
And Misty Rainforest, both of those.
Yeah, they used to be so much.
Really? Yeah. Oh my goodness, dude. Because
there's only one printing of the fetches, and Liliana was like good.
Oh, right. Like, was Liliana of the Veil ever more expensive than Jace the Mind Sculptor? Because I thought like Jace has been like the...
But Jace was like 40 or something at times,
She was
right?
close. I remember times when she was like 50 to 80 euros and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, GG's. Holy shit. Yeah. Because it was also like much harder to interact with Liliana back in the day, I feel. Like when she sticks around. Like
you got stifled for her abilities back in the days.
for the plus ability, no?
Yeah.
Talk about the good place. Yeah, dude. Because I've done that so far. I've done that already.
That's actually like even worse than spell piercing.
I know, right? It's so bad.
Remind me again, what was like the play when the opponent went like +1 on Liliana and you bounced it back to their hand? Was that Dwenza or
that was Cryptic Command, I think.
Cryptic Command?
Oh yeah,
like Vincent could do it as well, I guess, but
yeah.
Cryptic that was pretty common in like modern Jund versus blowout control.
Oh wow, that's such a blowout play. I love that.
It happened a lot. Like
yeah.
I remember after Predict was in Miracles, Liliana was like, I was happy for it to resolve. It was very rare to lose to it because it just discarded their hand and then you would not care. Kill her.
I guess like Caracas Venser was like went a long way.
Yeah,
I guess one of the decks on my worst decks list.
that's gonna be somebody's gonna make a movie or like an HBO miniseries about the whole like the Ponder Wars followed by the Ponder versus Legends Miracle Wars. Like you're gonna that they're gonna have Joe Lossett and like Philip Schoeniger like talking in the background and then like it fades over to gameplay and then like it goes back to them and you know how they do it like in all these true crime documentaries. I want to see that.
It's brilliant.
Guys, and speaking of true crime, so the whole theme of this episode is the worst decks in the history of Legacy, and we're not talking about, Kai's YouTube archives or whatever. Like, we are talking about the worst of the worst, the true shit, the worst decks people have ever touched, at least according to us, right? So, I don't know how far you guys went back. I went back basically until the beginning of Legacy. I think my earliest deck I have is from 2005. And we're gonna talk about those. I quickly, because we kind of discussed this, but not really. Are we talking about deck archetypes, or are we talking about individual decks that were built horribly but belonged to an established decent archetype?
I think it can be either, really. Like,
Yeah.
it's
So
fine.
so from my understanding, I thought we go over like specific deck lists, right? Like lists that are online somewhere, that had made like a maybe like an actual like a decent finish, but they look absolutely like garbage trash. Like
Yeah.
So you're getting personal with a lot of poor people. You're like,
Kind of,
in
yeah,
2007, this guy from Germany was.
No, we don't have to name people. Like we
No,
can.
we have to name
All
people
right,
like it's
okay,
our
we gotta,
job.
okay, we gotta name all you people. So this is the time to unsubscribe from our podcast.
I would totally like stop the podcast if you like didn't name and shame people.
All right.
Okay, number 1, Julian Knapp in 2008.
Yeah, I will also add like how difficult I think people like. It is so hard to find deck lists that are terrible. I think. Because like especially like I guess like nowadays like everything's like so optimized, and obviously everyone wants to build a deck that's reasonably competitive and powerful.
I did
like-
notice this while thinking about decks.
How did you guys even?
There's-
How did you look like? What did you type into Google search to find?
I
Terrible
most-
I used my brain to start out with. I
Yeah.
know a lot of bad decks.
I just used ChatGPT to ask.
Oh man, dude, I
I didn't really
actually
know.
did quickly use ChatGPT just because I wanted to see whether it would suggest something I didn't even think about. Like it literally started making up decks. Then I was like, are you sure this Oops All Mountains deck ever existed? And was like, actually, it doesn't. Like, I figured because Oops All Mountains, the fuck is that? Like, is it like the worst name for burn ever or something? No. For a moment, it had me excited. Okay, so basically we got both, right? We got horrible archetypes that somehow made it out into the spotlight and like acquired some notoriety, but we also got especially horribly built decks of decent archetypes that well also hit the public spotlight and entered into public record and the awareness.
Yeah. So I've got a mix of those, so I think it's fun to do both.
That's
Okay,
cool.
I used to have a mix, but then I cut a lot of those and I just went with horrible archetypes from the earlier years. I also had one of those decks that was like a tempo deck that played 3 pithing needles in the main deck because it was like a stifle. Like it actually like there was one of those early threshold decks that played like Stifle and Days and Wasteland, and it also played 3 needles. But I mean, okay, I guess this is like honorary mention. And the only reason it did this is because like we didn't have as many fetch lands back then. Like we only had half the fetch lands we have now. So it was like a little bit easier to guess, I guess. But yeah, it was still quite the plan, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Okay.
also like I think everyone has like a different like idea of what a terrible deck is. Like, because I also included decks that just don't look right, or maybe there were better options, or maybe they're just ugly. Like all of that, right?
Okay, I'm most excited for Kai's decks because I have no idea what it could be. It could be like anything. Okay, here we have this Legacy Tournament winning deck list. It's called Blue White Miracles. Play like one sideboard card wrong. Terrible deck.
Well, maybe not that, but yeah, I got a couple ones. Oh, also, like we have to tell the viewers or like the listeners that like we have not shared these deck lists before the show, right? So this is like this is like all live. You have no idea what the other casters picked for their decks. So like, are we gonna read them out or?
Okay,
how
so
do we wanna
basically,
do it?
I have 6 deck lists, and the way it's gonna work is we're gonna take turns. We're gonna quickly introduce the deck. I added some more information, like when it was released, when it came out, and some other information. And then I'm gonna share the link with you, so it's gonna be a surprise for all of us. That this is the whole idea, right? So we can have like genuine reactions to that. Do you guys
Gotcha.
have like links to deck lists?
Yeah, I got links,
Okay.
but like, so you have 6? What the fuck? Hey.
How many do you have? Like 20?
I got 5. But
okay, that's
I got-
crazy, right? How can you have 6
like
then?
I got 5, but like and now I'm looking at the decks and they're actually not that bad.
Oh god.
You know what you should do? You're gonna go last and you're just gonna pretend, oh, I had that. No,
Yeah,
you
I did.
mentioned it. It's like,
Oh man, dude, like again.
Okay, so let's start out with the first one I got. And to me, that one's special because that was the first time I started doubting the players around me. You know, I came into this made legacy community in Munich where, at least when I started, everybody was better than me. And then it took a while and then I caught up with them and eventually like got pretty good, I guess. Then I got worse again. And that was the deck that first made me think maybe these guys are bullshitting themselves. And that deck is the Truffle Shuffle. Have you heard about that?
I don't even know this one, actually.
You don't know the Truffle Shuffle? Okay, here we go.
I do not know
I'm
what
too much of a
truffle
Legacy
shuffle is.
zoomer. I got in a thread, I think. So.
Okay. So the Truffle Shuffle was released in 2006. And it was discussed until 2010. I went to the source and I looked up the thread, and this one has 400 replies. Like this deck, I remember this deck at the time was like a real deck. Actually, let me share a deck list with you over here, and we're gonna go into that. Okay, look at this. This is
All right.
This is the Truffle Shuffle. So where should we start? It's well, I guess chunk colored. Like if that means anything to you, it's basically red. No, it's black, green, and white. Plays bayous, savannas, one Walrod stronghold. The creatures
Classic.
are, where do we start? So the most established creature from a 2025 perspective are 4 Eternal Witness. And from
Wow.
there, it only gets worse.
Yeah, maybe you want to read out all the creatures. This is absolutely hilarious, dude. So that's the only creature as a 4 his Eternal Witness.
Yeah. I mean, you have so many good cards.
And then you have like
Witness.
2 copies of like what? Gigapede?
Gigapede? Like, I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Which is that ridiculous. Dude, I remember it was like a 5-drop, I think. It has like toughness 1 and an insane power. Like 6-1,
Shroud.
7-1.
It's 6-1.
Was it a 6-1?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 6-1. It's an insect.
It's an insect. It has like the shroud effect because I think there was no hexproof back then.
Yeah, it has Shroud.
And then whatever happened to him, like you either like shove, like when it actually died, like it goes back to your hand or some shit like that. I think it had some.
Yeah, so at the beginning of your upkeep, if it's in your graveyard, you may discard a card, and if you do, return Gigapede to your hand. You know, so you can get your 5-drop back.
I was trying to remember it. It's even worse than I remembered.
No, it doesn't get into play.
Yeah. No, that was the era of like creatures that, you know, you could retrieve in your upkeep. Like that's like a really old Magic
Like
type thing.
like the Gladiator as well.
Yeah.
I
And
like
the Gladiator.
Yeah.
Dude, I almost mentioned that because people mentioned that as a sideboard tech against goblins, but that's further down.
I was gonna say, like, why isn't that in the sideboard?
now you play, I do remember seeing this deck, like Insane Bear Assassin, right? IBA.
Yeah.
This
deck is cool as fuck. Like it's so cool. Come on.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I think I need to open Scryfall because I need to like what the hell is a Grave Shell Scarab?
Oh,
Oh,
that
isn't-
one's
isn't
so cool. It's like a 5-mana 4/4 that you can sack it to draw a card. 1 mana sack it, draw a card, and then it has like dredge 1, so you could like sack it to itself and then dredge it and stuff. As
Yeah,
well.
so you can
Oh,
basically like you
shit.
can 5 mana to draw a card, but
it's-
you also have to dredge it.
But it also like can't really be sourced to Plowshares, and then it comes back, so like it just doesn't really die, which is cool.
Yeah, it's super annoying. Like anything you do, like you run out the Gigapede, I guess if that's how it's pronounced, and like it blocks something, then you can bring it back, and that also like the Graveshare Scarab, you can block something. Remember, you can put damage on the stack, and then you sacrifice it. You draw a card, it trades for something. Like I don't
Dude,
know.
this is like the most like try hard nimble mongoose gameplay style as it gets, right? Like all the creatures have somewhat like Shroud, except the ones that really suck, like Eternal Witness. Like you can plow that if you want.
So only 2 of them or 4 of them have Shroud.
Yeah. Dude, I actually kind of like this. I mean, it's clunky as fuck, but
Yeah, but like, what would Nimble Mongoose do against like just a 5-mana 4/4?
yeah, nothing. Right?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do we want to go through the spells of because
Yeah, also,
there's
like,
a lot of spells, right?
We skipped over the very best deck, the very best card in the deck.
Condemn? No, please don't.
No, Crows and Tusker. Like
Oh,
literally,
shit.
that is like that's the Truffle Shuffle. Like when you cycle Crows and Tusker, that's doing the Truffle Shuffle.
Oh my god.
Because this is like a green divination, I want to say, right?
Yeah.
So Crows and Tusker. Okay, how do you go from a 7-mana 6/5 boar beast into divination? Well, we cycle it. So you can either pay like 5 colorless, 2 green, and get a 6/5 vanilla, or as you usually do, you just cycle it for 2 colorless and a green, draw a card, and when you cycle Crows and Tusker, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Right?
Okay. That's correct. Yeah. So here's a question I think I got asked, or like I think everyone got asked the most about this card is like, when do you do you draw first or do you search first?
You search first. You search first. And also on the later iterations of the card, because we all got Dumber, right?
Oh
It
yeah,
actually says on the card, do this before you draw.
Okay, right. Okay, because of people like me. All right, they put it extra in brackets. I like that.
But the thing is, at the time, I think half the people also didn't really know it. You just trusted your opponent to know it, and they would just like do whatever. Your opponents probably didn't even know like which way it would have been beneficial for them, like which order would have worked for them. So they're just like, oh, whatever. But yeah, that's Crows and Tusker. Like the whole idea is like you have Eternal Witness, you have Crows and Tusker, and like you accumulate so much card advantage because then you can like cycle Crows and Tusker again and like hit your land drops and everything. And all the while, like Gigapede and Graveshare Scarab, your other 5 drops, they hold the fort.
And then you Warlord Stronghold back the Crows and Tusker.
Yeah, like all the value, right? Can you imagine? Like Warlord Stronghold plus Eternal Witness? Holy shit. Like the only thing we need at that point is, I guess, do we misbuild that deck? We need Phyrexian Tower in there so we can sacrifice. I guess we can just like jump block with Eternal Witness.
Yeah, you can.
Keep killing it with your Damnations and Pernicious Deeds.
I was gonna say, like, we should probably tell the listeners like what the spells are in this deck, because this deck is pure destruction. Like, it plays 3 Vindicate. This is all main deck, right? 3 Vindicate, 3 Damnation, 4 Pernicious Deed, 4 Swords of Plow. Dude, like, this guy really hates creatures. Holy shit. 4 Swords of Plowshares, 4 Senses Finding Top to find more removal, 1 Hunting Echoes, which is actually a very nice win condition, I think, on turn 15 or so. Because you surgical every single spell in your opponent's graveyard, I think, is what
that's how it works. Like you search that deck for everything except basic, their graveyard for everything except basic lands, and you exile that. So imagine like they already like ran all their creatures into Gigapede and Graveshare Scarab and everything, and then they're like, oh, I have nothing left in my deck, and then you Haunting Echoes them.
Yeah, and then you have 3 copies of Crime Punishment, which is basically another Pernicious Deed effect.
Yeah,
that's a punishment effect. But I think so. I haven't played this deck, right? But I would assume that you also cast the Crime side, which is like
5 mana reanimate an opponent's thing.
Exactly, yeah. 3 mana, white on the black. You reanimate opponent's a creature on the battlefield, which is really nice with like thousands of removal spells.
Or enchantment, right? I think. Creature or enchantment, yeah.
Creature enchantment.
You're right.
So you can get their Pernicious Deed back as well.
Dude, and this deck also plays like a one of Condemn, because plows are not enough, and then 3 copies of Moment's Peace.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy is insane. Like, this I haven't gone through the numbers, but I think like more than 50% of this deck is creature removal.
Yeah, I was going to say, Julian, what was the metagame at this time? Was it creatures?
It was a lot more creatures. Like, guys, I told you, right? When I started playing Legacy, Standard was considered like the broken combo format, and so was Extended, and so was Vintage. Actually, Vintage not all that much, but more than Legacy. And literally, Legacy was the format where creatures lived. Legacy was considered the format where you get to play your creatures, you get to do stuff. And I have to admit, part of that was people didn't really understand like the actual power level of the most broken decks. But overall, yeah, like look at this deck. This is all about creature combat and like getting like a leg up in creature combat. This deck horribly loses to any kind of like dedicated combo deck, right?
Oh, imagine playing against like Storm. Yeah.
I mean, there is no card against combo decks.
Dude, we have 4 copies of Orange Chant.
Yeah, you don't even have a fast clock. You got absolutely nothing.
Hey, 4 Luxembourg Area in the sideboard. That's a 4 mana 4/4 was good.
Oh yeah, maybe we should talk about the sideboard, because the sideboard is also very clean. It's a lot of 4-offs. So we have 4 Leyline of the Void. Good choice, but probably also like very new back then.
Came out 2006, yeah.
Right.
2005, yeah.
It probably just came out, right? Because what's it called?
5-6, yeah.
Yeah.
The Dissension or something? Yeah, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Guild Pact, yeah.
Guild Pact, you're right.
And then like we have 4 Loxodon High Rocks. Very nice. I think that was like it was a really nice creature, I think, back then.
I mean, it's also like a really good. Never forget, we still put damage on this deck, right? So Loxodon Hierarch against any kind of like aggressive deck, like there were a lot of like Su decks, right? People played Su decks. And I think that was actually one of the most common decks. People did play like early threshold decks, but they of course weren't as good. But still, probably honestly, like during those days, threshold decks were probably some of the best next to Solidarity, which this deck, by the way, can't beat like ever.
Absolutely, yeah. And for everyone who didn't play Magic back then, it's a 4-drop 2 green and white for a 4/4. When it ETBs, you gain 4 life, and then for Celestia. And sacrifice Loxodon Hierarch, regenerate each creature you control. So
which like happened once in 2000 games.
Yeah, you never do this. Like, this is like an upgraded version of Ravenous Bellow.
I guess you could do that, like when you blow Pernicious Deed, and then like you save your creatures. That
it's bad. Nowadays you would say it's bad. But like back in the day, it was actually like hilariously good, I think.
4-mana 4/4 was like overstatted. It was really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
It also has an elephant on it.
Yeah.
plus
true.
points.
Yeah. I love
Okay.
that artwork so much.
Yeah, and then the sideboard had 4 copies of Orange Chant. Very nice. I'm a little surprised to not see like any like duress effects in this deck, but anyway.
I feel like this deck would always play like Ice-Crown Scepter with those chants. Honestly, like, because chants are not going to save you against combo probably, but what do I know?
Yeah, and then 3 Sacred Grounds.
You guys,
Sacred Ground.
I don't know what that
you guys don't know what Sacred Ground is?
No,
It's played in pre-modern, and I
No,
love this card.
it was played in Legacy.
Yeah.
Like that.
I love this card.
right. This is a legacy deck. Okay.
So the whole idea is basically for a Sacred Ground is it's an enchantment, and I believe it's like a colorless and a white. Yeah. And also I think it's from
Stronghold.
Stronghold, yeah. I remember the artwork. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So basically, whenever your opponent puts a land into your graveyard or anything does anything that like plays Armageddon or something, then you just return it to play. So you're completely safe against any kind of like tempo decks that try to wasteland you out or like Armageddon. Like people played white stacks back then with Armageddon. People played early versions of
Oh wow.
some kind of like, well, I guess Team America is calling it too much, like, but some kind of like black-based land destruction decks. That was a thing, and
yeah,
I did the work of reading through a lot of old The Source threads, and I just remembered people were so incredibly scared of having their lands blown up.
Yeah,
like,
this
so
dude,
scared.
This card makes a lot of sense. It's so specific, and like again, like I've never seen this card ever. But like, if you tell me
You've
that,
never seen Sacred Ground?
Nah, dude, never ever. Like,
I'm so happy we're doing this episode now.
Yeah, dude. I think maybe I saw the one in 7th edition because that's when I started. But like, I read that card and probably thought it was like really dog shit because no one in my play group like back then when I was 10 years old like played mass land destruction.
Yeah, and if they did, you would never play anything against it, because metagaming was
it just happens, right? Yeah,
you took
but
it
like,
to the chin.
Because like this deck cannot recover very well after an Armageddon effect because it's so mana hungry.
Yeah, but then again, like you had your Crows and Tuskers.
Oh yeah, you got the truffles.
Yeah, so this deck is something, and a lot of people in Munich played that, and I remember in 2010 at the GP in Madrid, some people even took it to the GP, and they literally sat down for a Legacy GP and registered 3 copies of Moments Peace in the main deck. And that literally is the point where I thought, is this really it? Is this what we're doing? Like, I really don't get it. Like, I seriously, 3 Moments Peace?
Yeah, 3. Yeah. On top of 4 Pernicious Deeds, 3 Damnation, 3 Vindicates, 4 Plows, 1 Condemn.
I mean, what are we even trying to do with Moments Peace? Like, time walk into Pernicious Deed? I guess that must be the whole idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the fact that the deck is just purely designed to go over the top of creature decks. It does nothing else. That's literally all it does. And so Moments Peace, this is going to sound really weird to say, but Moments Peace is tempo for this deck, right? It's just making land drops, drawing more removal spells, playing more removal spells. You can just jam all your removal spells like while your Moments Peace.
Yeah.
Like a Tarmogoyf is going to kill this quite quickly if you don't kill it, probably.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on this. Yeah, I don't think this deck does anything before turn 5 or 6.
Turn 2 Moments Peace, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Into turn 3 Moments Peace, yeah.
But it spins the top, tries to find source polishes early, I guess. But like, yeah, you're not doing much else. Like, this is why the Condemn, it's an absolutely dog shit card. But I mean, it's there because you need some earlier things, I guess.
Yeah.
I also love that you can do like Moments Peace and then you buy it back with Eternal Witness and then you Moments Peace again. And then like you somehow get rid of Witness, like you chump block, then you put Warlord Stronghold Eternal Witness on top, then you buy back Moments Peace.
I'm really surprised there's not Constant Mists in here.
Oh, that's the one where you fork and you have to sacrifice a land to buy it back, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a card that people played in World Championships.
But maybe you don't want to discard lands like to
sacrifice
this deck.
Lands even.
Sacrifice lands because
you don't.
Like,
but maybe they should put some Veteran Explorers in here for that.
That would have been the next evolution. Veteran Explorer had not been discovered yet back then. Veteran Explorer really hit the scene around 2009. So I guess later versions of the deck might have had it, but then at that point we're already like moving into. Well, we didn't really call it Nickfit yet, but this is kind of like a precursor to Nickfit, right? This is Nickfit-ish, and this would later evolve into what people later called Nickfit.
Is that true? So like Veteran Explorer and Cabal Therapy were out for a long time together and weren't paired up.
Yeah, the first time people really played those together in like what we call in Germany Wurscht survival, but people would rather play it like I don't know, black-green rock survival or something. That was more like 2009-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much for sharing this deck list, dude. Like this is like an eye opener.
This deck is sick as fuck. I love it.
Yeah, dude.
And once again, there's a thread with 400 replies over 4 years. This is not some random shit. This is like the truffle shuffle. That was a real thing. People like thought about the truffle shuffle when they entered the tournament.
Yeah, they probably thought very hard about the 4th or 5th damnation over the 4th or 5th pernicious deed or whatever.
Dude, for one of the later decks, I added a couple of quotes to my list of notes, and I'm gonna read them out for you, because those discussions back then, holy shit! Like we at the end of the show, we're gonna talk a little bit about like the whole mindset of building decks back then and how things have changed. But for now, I want to hear like Callum, what did you bring to the class today?
Okay, this was so entertaining to see. I'm switching it up a little bit. One of the ones I was going to do last is what I'm going to submit now, because it's also from the source, and
God,
it's from a dear friend of mine. And
there's a pattern here.
yeah, a dear friend of mine called Patrick, who is kinda MTG, and he's asked Julian to play a bunch of decks for him. So this one is called Riftbolt Tendrils.
Dude, I like the sound of the deck.
So I'm just
anything with tendrils, dude. Anything with tendrils.
Right, so I posted the list for you. So I'm going to read his. This is the first post in the whole source thread. So the idea is to suspend Riftbolt the turn before you go off for 3 damage plus 1 storm on the turn you go off. Only need 8 storm, 7 if your opponent has used a fetch land, making doing this without a draw spell much more viable. The list below is just an anchor and hasn't been tested. So the idea is Riftbolt is like plus 2 storm, so it's perfect for tendrils. So
it's basically plus 2.5 storm, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So your opponent needs to fetch and then die. So it's 4 Riftbolt, 4 Tendrils of Agony, 4 Pact of Negation, or Mental Misstep, or Overburden.
And after he adds that he hasn't tested the list yet.
It's beautiful. 4 Lotus Pedal, 4 Dark Ritual, 4 Rider Flame, 4 Gataxian Probe, 4 Summoner's Pact, 1 Wild Cantor, 2 Tinderwall, 1 Elvish Spirit Guide, 3 Infernal Tutor, 4 Brainstorm, 2 Metamorphose, 1 Ad Nauseam, no lands are diamonds, by the way. 4 Land Grant, 1 Bayou, 1 Volk, 1 Trop, 3 Gemstone Mine, 4 CCU Brass. This is just my favorite deck he's ever made, and it's brought up in our like friends chat a lot, and it's just an absolute classic. And the idea is just, it's the rest of the deck's kind of cool. It's like mana, and you just storm off and stuff. But it's just one of my favorite
ideas. It reminds
ideas.
me kind of like the Spanish Inquisition, but without the explosiveness, but also like Belcher, but without the Belcher and the LEDs. It's literally like your opponent goes like turn 1 Riftbolt suspense. How do you even suspend the Riftbolt? There's Tropical Island.
There's City of Brass and Gemstone Mines.
Yeah, and
Lotus Petals.
There's also like 1 volcanic island you can't fetch with land grant.
Yeah,
but that's the only dual land that can suspend.
A tiger might have been good.
Yeah.
So I guess your opponent, like, you sit down, your opponent goes volcanic island, suspend Riftbolt, pass, and then they kill you with Tendrils of Agony.
I mean, I love the idea of it. It'll catch people off guard.
How do you even like properly Infernal Tutor in this deck?
You just
that's a good question.
You have to play everything else. Like there's 4 tendrils, so like sometimes
your
you might
Pact of Negations. Like
yes.
if you have Pact of Negation and Infernal Tutor, and like what do?
You pact your own thing and then pact the pact, and then
oh my goodness, dude.
I believe he's played it like a couple of times and hasn't won a match, but
okay,
it's there. It's beautiful.
Interesting. Yeah, this is like a very interesting looking deck. Like. Especially because it says like 4 Pact of Negation or Mental Misstep or Overburden, and isn't Overburden that like stacks enchantment?
No, I think it's the 1 red. The next sorcery can't be counted.
You mean Overmaster?
Overmaster, yeah.
Oh no, sorry, no, you're both. We were all wrong.
Because isn't Overburden like the enchant like a?
Overburden is from. Oh my god, that's from Prophecy.
Oh, yeah, Overburden is. I think he must mean Overmaster.
He must mean Overmaster, because Overburden is an enchantment from Prophecy. It's a colorless in the blue, and I have no idea what it does, and that doesn't like sound good.
Whenever a player puts a creature card into play, that player returns a land he or she controls to its owner's hand.
Fuck.
Probably not that.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay, actually, let's rule out Overburden. It's probably Mental Misstep then, or Pact of Negation doesn't sound too great either.
Yeah. But like, wait, but there's no Cabal Therapy either? Like, you play 4 Gataxian Probes, and like, instead of Cabal Therapy, you play Pact of Negation or Misstep or Overmaster? Is that like, what?
There's as you go through the thread, there's some updates. The next version has 4 Deathrite Shamans in, and 4 Empty the Warrens as well. 3 Brainstorm, classic. And then it has Cabal Therapies and Gataxian Probes with the DRSs.
Right, okay.
In the sideboard, to go with the Cabal Therapies, is 4 Pattern of Rebirth and an Emrakul and a Grizzlebrand.
Okay, now we're talking.
Oh, I like that a lot. I like this a lot. Yeah, like a solid, like, anti-Flusterstorm tech, maybe?
I think it ends up turning into like a Nick Storm thing.
Yeah.
So there wasn't quite 40 pages like Julian's, but there was two pages of discussion.
Yeah, like this deck kind of reminds me of the Spanish Inquisition type of deck, where you have like lots of tendrils and you kind of storm off maybe like multiple times.
Yeah,
maybe you double tendrils them. Riftbolt is very interesting.
I mean, genuinely, the Riftbolt into tendrils, like you could do that twice quite easily with this deck, I think. Like, you suspend a Riftbolt, next turn you cast, like, a Probe, and then a Manamorphose, and then you tendrils them. And then the next turn you do something again similar.
Oh, man, dude, this deck is wild, dude. This is absolute wild, yeah.
So,
okay.
there is my first one.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much for sharing this deck list, dude. This is insane.
It's so
but
cool,
this is like, I totally, from this deck list, I totally get the Brewers vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
This is so, like, you look at this deck list and you're like, you don't even know if this is gonna work out, but it looks so just very janky, but also really, it might be very powerful. Maybe it's the opposite. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, I would totally test this deck or something similar to this, like, actually, and then, on Magic Online and just see how it works out,
So I just want to give an extra quick shout out to the guy that made this. So this is this was posted in like 2021. So in March 21. So over 4 years ago. And so Kinda is now playing loads of Vintage, and he does have a YouTube channel called Kinda MTG. So go and check it out. He only plays like weird brews like this. Still, he's been doing this for like ever. He only plays his weird janky brews. And he came like 9th in the last Vintage Showcase Challenge with like Affetu Alchemists and just the weirdest shit. So
please tell me there were some, Transformers in there.
Oh yeah, he always has like Transformers and shit like that in everything. So
cool, very nice.
What you got, Guy?
So I got a deck list from a player called Kai Savatari.
Damn, I was going to do the same guy.
Oh, I got those too.
I'm gonna let me copy paste that deck list in our chat. So this is from Kai Savatari from 2015, May 27th, and the archetype is.
Oh, I know. Wait. You said 2015, May 27th?
Yeah, dude.
I think I already know what it is.
Okay.
Is it the one with the horrible fetch lands?
I haven't even looked at the fetch land. No, the fetch lands are alright in this deck list. Yeah.
Okay, surprise us.
But this is Maverick by Kai Sawatari, 2015. And I went undefeated. It wasn't the biggest tournament. I went 3-0, but I went 3-0 with
so bad
with the Spire. So, all right, let me go through. Right. So the main deck has.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the shit,
dude. The main deck has 61 cards.
Yes, you do.
For no reason, you
have so many cards to take out as well.
Yeah, I had no idea it was 61 cards. Like, yeah.
So, you just dropped on what you had.
So this is on the Haruya deck archive, and I just found out that the deck had 61 cards. So it has 2 Bayous, Cavern Souls, Right Arbor, Forest, Horizon Canopy, Karakas, Maze of If, Plains, a bunch of other duels, Wasteland, like all the stuff you kind of know from back then. 2 Deathrite Shaman, Gadokteak, Knight of Reliquaries, Mother of Runes, and like all that sounds very familiar to you guys.
2 Deathrite Shaman's pretty bad, right?
That's actually the first thing I noticed. Where I was like, the fuck is this deck?
Oh. Yeah, is that bad?
That's not the bad part? That's actually a worse part?
No, because I thought Noble Hierarch is also kind of good enough, no?
That was the worst part to me as well.
Oh shit! Okay, because and then there's like other stuff like I don't know, Thalias and whatnot, Decay's Plows. But the absolute highlight of this deck is there are 4 equipments in this deck: Umizawa Tite, Batterskull, Sword of Light and Shadow, and Sword of Feast and Famine. But there's only a single Stoneforge Mystic.
I genuinely thought there was a mistake by Haruya or something.
Nah, dude.
I missed that as well, actually.
Oh my god. This deck is 4 equipments, but only a single Stoneforge Mystic.
And no way to choose.
I was so hoping you would have like another equipment in the sideboard, but you don't.
Nah, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh, man, Oh man, dude, I'm crying right now.
But
Seriously.
Kai, I gotta give you credit. Like, you noticed the flaw and you added 2 Enlightened tutor to sideboard, so you can like find the equipment.
Yeah, you know that like the funny thing is like the sword, like so GT and Batterskull are kind of no brainers, right? But I'm pretty sure that in 2015, Sword of Fire and Ice was probably the best sword in Legacy. But for some fucking reason, I picked Sword of Light and Shadow, which is the black-white one.
Back then, like, the most common configuration was Fire and Ice, and then maybe if you played a 4th equipment like Light and Shadow. But there was also a time in 2011, like late 2011, where we did actually play Feast and Famine in the sideboard, and I actually played that at a GP that I did really well in. But yeah,
yeah, dude.
I played like 3 or 4 Stoneforge. Like, I love that you actually have Batterskull in there, which is like, you don't even have Gaia's Cradle. Like, this is so terrible. Like, you just randomly draw Batterskull. It's like a 5-mana 4/4 with lifelink and vigilance, and that's it.
Yeah, and like the deck list has 3 Thalia, Guardian, Thrabins. Like, it's not like your equipment suit. Like, it's gonna be very costly.
I mean, when you have Thalia out there, like, Batterskull would have made a fine beta card.
Yeah, dude.
Like, power level wise.
I swear to God, like, this was the only time when I picked up Maverick in 2015.
And you won the tournament?
In general. Yeah, I went 3-0. Yeah, easy.
Oh, yeah, 3-0. Okay,
easy,
whatever.
dude. Yeah, you know.
My little sister went 3-0 the other day, and she doesn't even play Magic.
The sideboard has Bojuka Bog, Tower of the Magistrate, very cool. Aedis von Canonis, 1 Linvala, 1 Reclamation Stage, and 1 Thrun. The last roll, I remember this probably being one of the best cards in my sideboard because there was so much control. And 2 Enlightened Tutors, which also, I think in that tournament, like, it also fetched me like an equipment once.
At least, I would think.
Yeah. 1 Choke, 1 Engineered Plague, 1 Rest in Peace, 1 Engineered Explosives, 1 Pith Needle, 1 Tormod's Crypt, and then a single Elspeth Knight Errant against Miracles too.
Okay, Kai, tell me, because I want to know whether you know. Do you know why you played Lenvada?
Dude, I don't know, man.
I love that you don't know.
Activate. Oh, this is really good versus Nadu.
The mirror?
Yeah.
Wait, Nadu?
I don't, dude. I have no idea. Activated abilities of creatures your opponent controls cannot be activated.
This is the absolute mirror breaker. This is the best card you can have in the mirror match.
Oh,
like, it stops the opponent from activating Knight, from activating Mother. Like, it's insane. Technically, it also stops Stoneforge, but I mean, not against your deck all that much.
But then, like, my tech is I don't even play that many Stoneforges, so, you know, like, my opponent's Lenvala's gonna suck ass. Yeah.
Just next level.
Yeah. And they just, like, find sort of Feast and Famine or whatever and cast it. And you're like, yeah, but you cannot use your Stoneforge for that. Like,
oh, that's a very good point. Like, was that the main reason? Was that the main reason why I played? Yeah? Like, Maverick?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very much. Lenvada was the mirror breaker.
Yeah, because like you look at all these creatures, like the majority of them have activated abilities, right?
Yeah, that's the whole idea behind Maverick. That's also why, dude. Oh, you did play Script Ranger. Never mind. I was gonna give you shit for not playing Script Ranger, but
dude, Script Ranger was the best thing. You can untap your one of Stoneforge Mystic.
Oh yeah. You can put like 2 Batterskull into play on the same turn or something.
Yeah,
I can't even ever beta bounce the Stoneforge.
Oh my goodness!
All right,
dude.
this is a really good submission because I looked at it first and I saw the 2 Death Right and I saw the 61 cards and I saw the weird sideboard. And I was like, yeah, this looks pretty bad. But then,
I'm pretty sure the one of Stoneforge Mystic was probably the 61st card. Probably it probably didn't even belong in the main deck.
It looks like it's probably one of the equipments, honestly.
Yeah, it's like last minute edit, one Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, because like the Safekeeper and the 3rd Thalia and couldn't be anything
like
else.
How did I ever thought this was okay to submit to a tournament?
Looks perfect to me.
Perfect to
I think you need to go to 64 cards for the Stoneforges.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty clear at this point.
Okay,
guys, so should we move on to my next one?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Okay, this is probably one of the most famous decks in the history of Legacy. Have you guys ever heard of Rabbit Wombat?
Yes.
Oh, it's a green. It's a really like an old green card with terrible artwork, I think.
Yeah, but it's also a deck. And don't you ever say it's like horrible artwork.
I was about to say it. I don't think it's horrible artwork at all. We're taking this personally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right. Okay. I didn't know that this was like the art podcast.
Okay. So this is another deck. Actually, where are my notes? My notes are over here. This one was released in 2005. And it was discussed until 2008. So for 3 solid years with over 700 replies. Remember the first deck, the Truffle Shovel, had over 400 replies, almost 400 replies. This one has over 700 replies in way fewer years. Like this is, I'm just going to post it on here and you can have a look at this. The beauty of the Rabbit Wombat.
Oh wow. Okay. Like, do you want to read out the deck list or?
Yeah, let's read out the deck list. So this is a mono white control deck, which already like legacy terms like this is not the Mighty Quinn. The Mighty Quinn had not been discovered yet.
I was trying to point out this is 2 for 2 of infamous Bear Assassin decks you posted.
Yeah, accidentally. Like I didn't even notice that like IBA actually had those, but yeah.
But they were a prolific deck builder back then.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Also, anyway, so this one it's got 23 lands, of which 19 are snow-covered plains and 4 are secluded steppe, right? The white cycle land. Then we have 4 Eternal Dragon, which also cycle. Then we have 4 Swords to Plowshares. We got 4 Abeyance, which was like poor man's Orm's Chant before Orm's Chant was a thing. Abeyance costs 2 mana. It's a slow trip, right? I think you draw a card at the beginning of the next upkeep or something.
I think you draw immediately. Yeah,
draw immediately even.
Yeah,
oh my god, it's broken.
But it's not as powerful as the Orm's Chunk because it doesn't stop them from cast anything. It limits to what? Instance interrupts, sorceries and abilities to require an activation cost. So
so they can attack and cast creatures.
Yeah.
Right.
They can't use fetch lands, I guess. Unless they already have them in play, but then they can do it in response, I guess. But they can't play a fetch land for the turn, for example. But yeah, that's...
Oh yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, but overall it was mostly about like, getting just the extra turn. Or it was one of the very desperate ways that you might be able to disrupt combo with this, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
so we go on.
They can still play a land, but can't activate a fetch till your turn then. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah, so they can't use it on the main phase, which is, I guess, the whole idea. Yeah. Then you get 4 copies of Renewed Faith. And the only thing I know about Renewed Faith is you can cycle it and gain like 2 life, I believe. I don't even know what the main thing is.
Gain 6 life.
You gain 6 life for 3 mana?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was told that you never cast this card. Like you always cycle it.
Yeah, when you if you ever end up casting this card.
Against burn, maybe. But
yeah. Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah. So other than that, we got 4 copies of Decree of Justice. Like this deck really likes cycling. You got 3 copies of Wing Shards. You guys remember Wing Shards?
Yeah,
hell yeah.
It's a storm spell, no?
Yeah, it's a storm spell with like that owl on it. It's a colorless and 2 white. Yeah. And attacking player sacrifices a creature and it has storm. That was insane against, the likes of like all those tempo decks.
Really cool. Hell yeah. Very powerful.
Yeah, that was really cool. Then you got 3 copies of Wrath of God, 3 copies of Humility.
Oh gosh!
you can seriously, like I'm not joking when I say Legacy used to be the creature format. It was the most creature-centric format in all of Magic. And it really reflects in these early deck lists. This is literally what people did. They cast creatures, they destroyed creatures, and then sometimes people played Solidarity and won the tournament. Then we got 3 copies of Gilded Light, because hey, you can actually try to pretend that you
anti-tendrils tech.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely won't dress you first. I promise.
Never.
Get a light like 1 and a white for an instant. You can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn, and it has cycling for 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool card. It's actually kind of like a nice Magic card.
Like all of these cards, I kind of used to play in Extended for a while, but I used to play them with Astral Slide, right? But in Legacy, this was just like straight up cycling. I think the infamous BSS. How do you sum it up? The major alteration is the use of cycling as a form of card drawing. Yeah, you don't say. You have 28 cards main deck that draw a card, allowing the deck to have great digging power when it's looking for cards against a certain matchup. I mean, yeah, we already had Brainstorm and Fetch lands back then and like Opt and stuff, but I mean, you try. But then, so Wrath of God is not enough. Humility is not enough. Like all of those removal spells are not enough. You also have 3 copies of Chroma's Vengeance. And like you really want to kill all of the opponent's shit. And then also you have 2 copies of Rune of Protection Red, because everybody knows Rune of Protection Red is amazing against goblins, right?
Okay, so if you tell me that goblins was like an S tier deck back then, then I can kind of understand like why we ended up with a deck like this.
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, like, imagine if you play this Rabbit Wombat deck against the first deck you presented with like millions of damnations and deeds and stuff.
What a mirror match! Oh my God.
What a shit show!
Well, not mirror,
dude.
sorry.
What a fucking shit show!
It's kind of funny because you would think like Haunting Echoes would be insane against it, but no, it has Gilded Light, and the other deck doesn't have this card to fight the Gilded Light.
Oh no!
I think Rabid Wombat wins.
Oh gosh, it might, yeah.
Guys, will one of you play this mirror on Magic Online and stream it with me?
We should do it.
Well, not
I
mirror,
wanna
but
see.
these two against each other.
It'd
We
be
should do it.
hilarious.
I really want to do it.
It'd be hilarious.
Rabid Wombat versus Truffle Shuffle.
I also love that they picked Rune of Protection Red, not Circle of Protection Red, because Rune of Protection Red is cycling.
It cycles.
I'm not even sure. Like, what do you want to cycle into in this deck?
Against
Like,
non-red cards?
You can cycle your removal spells to find more. Actually, those are not removal spells. You can cycle like your life gain and utility to find removal spells.
Well, I
guess
guess the idea is like, against a deck that doesn't have, if you don't need this much removal, you can cycle them and stuff. It just gets you to your humility and then degree of justice for the win quicker. I don't know, man. The Genji of the Fields in the sideboard's got me going as well.
Genji of the Fields is amazing. Would you have known like what it turns creatures lands into?
It's like a 2/4.
I believe it's a 2/6. Actually, I have it
2/6,
looked
okay.
up somewhere.
Okay.
Let me double
'Cause
check.
I remember these cards. I just thought they were
Oh, it's a
unbeatable.
2/5. Okay, we were both like half right.
Okay, fine. Close enough.
And against like basically lifelink, like
Yes,
Spirit Link.
it's the trigger, right?
Yeah, the trigger Spirit Link,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, all in all, we have a pile of.
By the way, I have no
basic
idea why this is in the
planes.
sideboard.
Or Genji of the Fields.
Yeah.
Oh, there's again. Oh, wow. What the hell? Wasn't that like a land enchantment or something?
Yeah.
I guess it's like against some kind of like aggressive decks. Like I guess it's also good. This is from
Honestly,
time.
control, maybe?
So, like, enchant planes for white, 1 white, and for 2 colors until end of turn. Enchanted planes becomes a 2/5 white spirit creature with. Whenever this creature deals damage, you gain that much life. It's still a land. Okay.
And then Enchanted Planes is put into a graveyard. You may return Genji of the Fields from a graveyard to your hand.
This used to be a cycle, I think, for all 5 colors, I think. Because I
Yeah, there's
remember
also
the
the-
black one.
There's also the 5-color one, right? Genji of the Realm, I believe.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's really flavorful.
Yeah. Okay, by the way, bonus points if anyone on the podcast knows this other card that's in the sideboard. Phyrexian Furnace.
Oh, I know what this does.
Yeah,
this
same.
is like this is graveyard hate.
Yeah.
This is like basically we got Relic of Progenitors at home. Kinda.
Yeah,
But
I don't think I would have known this. It's played tons in pre-modern. That's the only reason I know. But if it wasn't, I don't think I'd know it.
Yeah, because maybe this deck came out before Relic. Is that possible?
Yeah, this card and this deck came out way before Relic.
There you go.
Way. Relic came out in 2009, I want to say. And this deck, what did my notes say? I think my notes said that came out in 2005, like 4 years before Relic of Progenitors. Phyrexian Furnace, by the way, for those who don't know, Among Us, it's colorless for an artifact. You can tap it, exile the bottom card of target player's graveyard, so you don't actually get to pick. And you can pay 1 and sacrifice it and exile target card from a graveyard, draw a card. So you don't even get to exile the entire graveyard. This is literally like Relic of Progenitors from Bush. Like it's you can't even make it any worse.
Oh yeah. You have to play multiples, otherwise.
But even if you do, I guess it's yeah. Okay, so you got some kind of graveyard hate, I guess, in that regard. Also, like your 3 of disenchant, so you can disenchant your opponent's humilities. 3 Aura of Silence, so you can destroy even more of their stuff. And of course, 3 copies of Orm's Chant, because now your combo matchup is just perfect, right? 3 Gilded Light, 4 Abeyance, 3 Orm's Chant. Those are gonna, time walk the Eternal Dragon to victory.
Cool. This is also probably the cheapest deck we have talked about today, I think. There's almost no expensive card in this deck list. Like the mana base is like dirt cheap. It's just a bunch of planes.
It's so funny you say that, because like Orm's Chant was like one of the most expensive cards in Legacy at times.
Oh shit! How much was that?
I want to say like 20 euros or something.
Okay, that's a lot for back in the day. Yeah.
Orm's Chant was something else, man.
And I guess like Humility was like also on the reserved list and stuff, but like
but Humility was like a 4-5 euro card. That was like nothing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Humility, like the combination of Humility and Degree of Justice is oh man, dude, it's so good. And
then you still lose to the guy who has like random Pendelhaven in his Truffle Shuffle deck or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should add that there is like no way to destroy opposing lands with this. There's no wastelands, no I guess there was no Crucible, like
Can
none
you-
of that.
Can you Genju of the fields an opponent's land? Actually, let me look that up. Can you cast it on the opponent? Oh, the land gains to activate, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's not
it's-
okay.
you upgrade your opponent's land for no reason. Yeah.
No, actually, you know what? You can actually do that. It says 2 until end of turn, Enchanted Plains becomes... Oh, okay, so you can only do it on Plains. But if your opponent has, like, Plains out, you can put this on the opponent's Plains, pay 2, and then Wrath of God their Plains.
Dude, okay, so we have Wasteland at home in this deck. It just takes forever.
Yeah, but it's reusable.
You know what they used to say? Genju and Wrath of God is fucking broken.
It's fucking broken, dude.
Fucking broken, mate.
Oh my goodness, dude. This is so much cooler than Crucible Wasteland. Because you can blow up basic planes too.
Mind you, Crucible Wasteland was legal in the format back then.
Yeah. Oh god, this is hilarious, dude.
This is Rabbit Wombat, like a real established deck. Like, also, I didn't pull from the crap forum. Like, I literally pulled from the established decks forum. And yeah, this one, 700 replies over 3 years. This was the real deal. People like were really into like trying to perfect this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna put links in
Like-
the show notes, at least for the ones that I have links here. And like, if you want to read the threads and see which conclusion people came to over the years and how the decks evolved, that's quite something. By the way,
Oh.
here's I'm putting this one from one of the matchup guides. So this is the primer, and this is the recommendation of how to play against Solidarity, which was basically the best combo deck back then. Your best bet here is to pick up their deck, replace it with one of your own design that doesn't have lands, and hope they can tell the difference.
just auto loss.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, he wasn't bullshitting himself. Actually, I liked that a lot. Like in the earlier years when I read on the source, people were really realistic about their matchups. Like, people would post the worst decks that could beat almost nothing, but they would also like be like, yeah, let's not even try to pretend that we can win here, right? It's just like...
That'd be such a good meme to do these days. Like, just make a new deck. It's still terrible, blah, blah. And then every single matchup is an auto loss. But just go into so much detail that people get to the bottom of reading it. Like, so what does it do? Like,
What'd it do?
what it do?
Okay,
Amazing.
so let's move on to your next column.
Okay, fine. I'll post the deck list. I think, Julian, you're going to know more about the deck than me.
Okay, we will see.
Kai, I've made you play it.
Oh no, dude.
It is the
Oh
absolute
my
gorgeous,
fucking god.
nourishing
Oh.
Lich.
Oh, dude. Hell yeah.
What a fucking deck this is. I
What a fucking deck.
love it so much. It's insane, but it's also terrible.
Yeah,
But-
take it away.
But so Julian again is going to know more of the backstory than me. But from what I understand, it started on the Mana Drain, but I couldn't find an actual active link for that anymore. So it continued on the source. Basically, it was Cavius the Great who was who would be
Kavi's the greatest deck builder in the history of Legacy.
Yeah, exactly. And he built this, and I don't know if it was actually like a joke for him or not, but he thought it was like the most busted deck in the format, right? And it was just kind of a meme that it was.
The thing about Cavius is, like, he's an enigma in the sense that people never fully decoded to which degree he was, like, memeing and trolling.
Yes.
Or whether he was really serious about the stuff he posted, because like he would sometimes really defend the stack in like not in a funny way, but like an emotional way. But then also like post the biggest shit, and you would like today we would say he was totally trolling, but maybe he was even like mentally unstable or something. I really have no idea. It's
And
just
it couldn't be any better than that. It's perfect, isn't it?
yeah, pretty much. Like if you want to like improve the stack, you're probably failing. And but I want to quickly add that on the source, we have a secret forum. Let me see if that one's still around. That one's called, oh yeah, here it is. Maybe it's even public. I'm not sure. Cavius Casual Budget Forum. And I think that was kind of like mocking him, but I'm not sure because the description's got a fun deck. Want to post your latest deck of your latest list of Nourishing Lich. Not interested in making the deck much better. Can't afford to play Legacy. And am now barking up the tree to play Pauper, then here's the forum for you. And apparently there's 530 threads with over 6,000 posts in there.
I think
people
half
were
of them
like-
are going to be kinder.
can imagine that.
So
I can totally
yeah,
imagine that.
Yeah, well, he's played it a few times. While trying to find this original thread, I had to sift through a bunch of him starting new threads saying 2024 Nourishing Lich and stuff. So I'm going to read off the original list that's posted. It went under loads of changes since then, but it's just it's a thing of beauty. So it's got 28 mana sources, 12 swamps, 4 Bloodstained Mire, 4 Polluted Delta, 4 Chrome Mox, 4 Dark Ritual. The combo, I love how it's all organized. 4 Autochthon Worm, which is the 15 mana, 9 something.
Nobody ever like cast
creature from Ravnica. 3 Iname as 1, which is essentially a 12 mana green creature, which is like an 8/8 from Ravnica as well. 4 Nefarious Lich, we'll read what that does in a second, and 4 Nourishing Shoal. The kill is 2 Tendrils of Agony. Utility is 3 Night's Whisper, 3 Zuran Orb, and 3 Grim Tutor. Creature kill, aka Meddling Mage Problem Solvers, is 2 Splitting Darkness. Disruption is 4 Duress.
You gotta mention what Spinning Darkness does. That's just such an insane commitment.
Spinning Darkness is actually a pretty cool card, I think. Like,
yeah.
I used to play it in like a mono black deck called the Gate back then.
Oh my god, I should actually have picked the Gate. I did not pick the Gate, but I think it's actually one of the worst decks in Legacy.
We can cover it. We can cover
Yeah,
it because it was like top tierish for a bit.
No,
are we talking about the Gate?
Nah, dude,
Well,
like,
not top tier, but it was like
top garbage.
It was in discussions as like a proper deck.
Wasn't that with the Malakir Gatekeeper? or
Yeah,
something?
Keeper.
Which had like kicker, and then your opponent sacrificed a creature.
Yeah.
And then it was
like
like
16 mana.
it was just like Dark Confidence, Bitter Blossoms, and Jittes and stuff.
Yeah.
That was
and
literally
Vampire
like
Nighthawks and stuff.
Kind of like a standard deck almost.
Did it play Nantaku Husk? Was that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I played them.
Yeah.
Like not as a playset, but it was all right.
What a sick
It was
card.
all right.
The
Yeah,
Gate,
but like back
honorably mentioned to the Gate. Seriously.
Yeah, but back to Spinning Darkness, because I think this was like a hilariously bad card to reveal to Dark Confidant in the other deck, but it's a 6 mana instant, and spoiler alert, you never pay 6 mana to cast the spell, because it says you may remove the top 3 black cards in your graveyard from the game instead of paying this spell's mana cost, and it deals 3 damage to target non-black creature. You gain 3 life. I think this is like an alright card. You cannot cast this card on the first, I want to say 3 turns.
Play some Dark Rituals and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, because you have to commit to your graveyard first before you cast the spells. But I think this, like, for 0 mana, having like free removal was actually very like valuable. I think back then when there were not many options.
And it also combos with the namesake card. So Nefarious Lich is what the deck is all built around. So this is an enchantment for 4 black. So you know that saying that like however many skulls it has, that's how cool it is. Like Doomsday is fucking sick because it's got 3 skulls. Nefarious Lich has 4 skulls on it. It costs 4 skulls to cast. Enchantment.
Isn't it actually how Kavi's like introduced the deck?
It could be. I don't remember.
I thought it was like part of the backstory, if I remember correctly. It was like he was looking for the most skulls he can find in the card.
If so, that's cool. If you would be dealt damage, remove that many cards in your graveyard from the game instead. If you can't, you lose the game. That's pretty scary. If you would gain life, draw that many cards instead. Here's that spinning darkness, gain 3 life, draw 3 cards. If when Nefarious Lich leaves play, you lose the game. So like if you take damage and can't remove cards in your graveyard, you die. If someone just plays like a instant speed naturalize or disenchant, you lose. But hey, it's not going to happen.
Never.
So
has never happened, will never happen.
Exactly. So the life gain comes in with Nourishing Shoal. So most people probably know Nourishing Shoal by now. It's from Betrayers of Kamigawa. It's like one of the pitch cards. So you can remove a green card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game rather than pay the Shoal's mana cost, and you just gain X life. So we've got the Autochthon Worm, which is 15 mana, and it's a green card. So you'll gain 15 life, and you'll draw 15 cards, and then you'll probably draw another Shoal and another big green creature, like Ineme as one as well. So you'll draw your deck, and then you'll play a bunch of like Chromoxes and Dark Rituals, and then Tendrils of Agony them. And your opponent's definitely not going to just kill your Lich or whatever, and nothing bad's going to happen at all. Then there is like a bunch of like updated versions. There is 214 replies in the thread. So this is also like on the source after it was pitched on Mana Drain years before. So yeah, this deck became pretty infamous in the source.
This is probably, I want to say, it's up there. Like if we made a list of the most famous influential, biggest cultural meme decks in the history of Legacy, this would be on the short list as easily on the top 3. It could take the top spot, the Nourishing Lich.
Yeah.
I know one much higher, but yeah. It's coming later.
I feel like we all have the same deck in mind. Probably somewhere on the list. Like we should.
We will get to it.
All right.
By the way,
But
I can't
dude,
believe
like,
that.
I like this deck a lot. This is probably super fun to goldfish.
Wait,
Well,
didn't you actually stream that deck?
So I made Kai stream this once.
Oh,
which-
yeah, shit,
Which
yeah.
you totally remember, don't you?
But like, didn't I win a round? Maybe.
I think you won around.
Yeah, I think I won a round against.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know
you,
against
you also
what.
played like Overgrown Estate, right? Which is like
Yeah.
a much better Surinop
Yeah. Overgrown Estate is 3 mana. It's 1 black, 1 green, 1 white for enchantment, and you can sack a land to gain 3 life.
instead of 2, right?
Holy fucking shit! Dude. I guess you can pitch this to the
To the shoal.
to the shoal.
Oh, yeah. And you can remove its Spinning Darkness.
That is very right. Was that a
I can't
one-off?
believe how like that tech was initially missed.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until now, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a one of. I just love the art on it as well. I think it's really cool, very fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
The
I love
decay.
that there's like No Mercy in the sideboard. No Mercy is one of those cards, when I started playing, I thought like, how is this not the best card in all of Magic?
Yeah,
No,
good point. I
that's-
mean, it is a very good card in Commander still.
Oh, is
Like,
it?
Yeah. People play this like non-stop in black decks.
Which one's
Oh,
No Mercy again? Is it like whenever they
It's-
deal damage to you, the creature dies?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
4
that's
four
right.
mana black enchantment. Whenever a creature deals damage to you, destroy it.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. 2 smother, 2
Yeah.
smother in the sideboard, 2 innocent blood, 2 no mercy,
4
4
chalice.
chalice of the void. That's an interesting card to
Yeah.
put in a sideboard.
Again, this
full
was
of
like
dark
the
rituals.
very, very first build, so like it changed to have. I think people,
AKA the best.
obviously the best, but people put in like soul spikes later on, and there were builds with Academy Rector to find the Lich in time and
Okay.
stuff. But
Yeah, and then 2 unmasks, and then 3 What the hell is persecute?
Persecute
You don't know
is-
what Persecute is? Seriously, like, you're lacking like some.
Oh man,
Like,
yeah,
you-
no, I just looked up. No, I know. Yeah. No, like I know the artwork. It's a very specific artwork. 4 mana, supposed to choose a color, look at target player's hand, and play discards all cards of the chosen color.
Yeah, it has amazing artwork. Like at least the
Yeah.
one from Urza Saga.
This is cool. So when do you bring this in against?
Combo decks.
Oh,
I
against a
guess?
rabbit wombat deck. Yeah, because it's mono white.
Yeah, true.
No, but then they will get it lighted. Oh shit.
Oh no!
Or they'll just discard like their Wrath of Gods and stuff.
Yeah. And they're oh my god, no, what can we do? And then they will Eternal Dragon back. Okay, yeah, but Eternal Dragon can probably not outrace Surinop. So that's something.
Yeah, so like with this deck, like you really need the extra discard from the sideboard because like disenchant is your worst enemy, right? Like anything that destroys your nefarious lich
Mhm.
basically kills you, and I don't see like how this deck can win without nefarious lich.
No.
I don't think you
I mean,
can.
maybe you can cast the Inami as one.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Dude, it's
12 mana. There's 4 Dark
Is it like-
Rituals, 4 Chromoxes. There's 11 Swamps. Easy.
it's a casual 12-drop creature. from
And then they
Kamigawa.
start to plowshares it, and you're like, oh, you get it all right. How could you?
The deck technically can cast the Worm as well.
By the way, guys,
Yeah.
Cavius the Great was banned from the source, I think even many times. But to this very day, I will never forget that, and I just pulled it up. When I signed up for the source in apparently 2007, he was literally the first person to message me. I literally got a private message from him. I just pulled it up again. It just says hello in the subject. Are you that 14-year-old kid that won also though I can't speak. Are you that 14-year-old kid that won all those Pro Tours? If so, I got to give you props for posting on this website. I only wish more professionals came here to post their ideas.
And you're like, no, sorry, it's not me.
I think he was thinking about Julian Ninjutsu, who like was
Oh.
the world champion 2005, I believe. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, my name's at Julian23, so
Yeah.
there's only so many Julians who play Magic, right? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
felt
just tell
so
them like you are
proud.
you are the older brother. Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously, I felt so proud that like somebody who already had like a picture as the avatar and everything, and like he was there
Mm-hmm.
and messaged me and greeted me, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a lot of extra credit. They don't know that I'm terrible. And yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Cool.
Love that.
Cool.
Apparently, there was the Source MTGO clan. Oh, I totally forgot about that. I remember when we still technically MTGO still has clan support,
Nice.
but yeah, it doesn't really do anything anymore.
No.
Oh man, guys, now that I should have totally looked at MTG the Source, dude. It just didn't even cross my mind to
It's
look
where all
up
the gold
decks.
is.
Yeah, I know. That's where all the gold is, and I used Google search.
Yeah,
And
Kai was
for terrible decks, oh man, dude, it was tough, dude.
Kai was looking at the minor legacy forum on the old MTG Salvation forums and stuff that are probably archived somewhere now.
Right, okay, so to be completely honest with you, how I did my deck research was I went to Star City Games.
Okay.
and I went to the ones from between 2010-ish to 2013, 14, just
I mean,
browse
that's
through.
good. That's good, right? So I got the really old stuff. You got some newer stuff.
Yeah.
2010, the newer stuff.
The newest. and so one of the decks I'm gonna talk about next is a deck that actually finished first place at a Star City Games Legacy Open on March 18th, 2012. So this is already, I want to
feel
say
so bad for not knowing it right away, but okay.
I mean, it's actually one of the best and more competitive times of Legacy, right? 2012, I think of Canadian Threshold and I don't know, Maverick and Sneak and Show and stuff like that. And the next deck list I found that was, it's not as hilarious as the other decks, but I think it's also it looks a little bit on budget and just doesn't have the cool cards in it. So this is banned.
Oh God.
This is banned hexproof, but without the good cards. I feel.
You might say that. I don't even know where to start here.
so banned hexproof for everyone who doesn't know, it used to be an archetype where you fought out a creature that's over 3 or 4 mana, has the hexproof ability or hexproof text, and then you bump it with a bunch of weird enchantments and auras to.
Dude, this is a great suggestion. This deck is fucking awful.
Yeah. So
it looks awful too.
All
It's
right.
amazing.
So yeah, let's start with the numbers because the numbers are very clean. 20 creatures, 20 spells, 20 lands. So we got forest.
Beautiful.
We got 2 forests, 2 islands, misties, savannas, trops, tundras, two wastelands, and 2 winds with heats. Nothing too special about this. But the creatures are 4 birds of paradise, 4 noble hierarchs, 4 Quasali pride mages, and also gonna add exalted was kind of broken back then. 4
It still
guys.
is the best ability ever printed.
Yeah, 4 guys from Tentraft, which was an excellent choice. But then instead of Thron, the last troll, there's 4 copies of Troll Aesthetic.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. It's a 3 mana, so it's green, colorless for a 3/2 hexproof, and for 1 of the green we can regenerate Troll Aesthetic.
I remember when this card came out and it was insane. Everyone's losing their minds.
Yeah.
It was absolute bomb.
Because it came out in was it
Mirrodin?
Mirrodin?
Yeah.
Mirrodin block.
Yeah.
How was everyone so excited about this card when Arcbound Ravager came out at the same time?
I guess it was the set before, but I think this was there hadn't really been something that was so hard to kill before.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, it's not even necessarily about standard, but about magic. You remember how you felt when True Name Nemesis came out? Yeah, this was True Name Nemesis before True Name Nemesis.
Yeah.
And before, but after Geiger Pete, right? So,
Sure.
so,
You're right, though. You're right.
Yeah.
There's a clear path in Legacy from Gigapit to Troll Aesthetic to
I think
True Name
we
Nemesis.
can. Yeah, we definitely see a pattern right there. All right. Okay. So those are the creatures. So basically, you go turn 1 Birds of Paradise or Noble Hierarch, and then you play 1 of your 4 Troll Aesthetics or 4 Gusts and Draft on your second turn, ideally, right? And then what you then do is you have to tune your creatures because again, Gusts and Draft has a powerful effect, but it's kind of easy to block. It's also just a 2/2. So that's when unstable mutation comes into play. It's a blue enchantment aura
from beta.
It's very old. Yeah. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3 at the beginning of your upkeep. It gets a -1/-1 counter. So over time it just gets very, very weak and it might eventually die, but you're also only there for a couple of hits. And then there are 2 copies of Spectral Flight, which I think never saw play in a legacy deck except in this deck.
It's a bold assumption.
It's an aura from Innistrad for 2 mana, 1 in the blue. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying. And then we have 4 brainstorms, no ponders. We have 4 dazes, no force of wills, but 4 spell pierce, and 3 psionic blasts, which is
As you do, right?
Yeah. I think everyone knows what a psionic blast does. But yeah, no force of will. And also, like, what kind of upsets me is that there is not a single copy of Ride the Dilu
I was going to ask you,
horse.
which card is this deck missing? It's riding the Dilu horse.
Yeah, dude.
Like, especially like the horsemanship. Holy shit, that would be insane, this deck. Like, forget about Spectral Flight. We want the horsemanship.
Wait, I'm trying to find this card on Scryfall. Is it Dilu? No.
Dilu horse.
Dilu horse. It's an aura, but it's not. Like, it's a sorcery. 2 and a green sorcery. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains horsemanship. And this is permanent.
I love that.
This is permanent, but like the card is a sorcery, so it goes to the graveyard right away. But you have to kind of remember.
It was like one of those. Actually, it was the only card, I believe, where you tracked it in your mind, because it's like, I mean, Giant Crow you track in your mind, right? But it goes away at the end of turn, so your head is free to take in new information, like the next Giant Crow. But riding the Dilu horse, it's just like, yeah, +2/+2, like literally forever, and deal with it in your head. Don't like put a counters on it. It's
yeah.
Templating was insane. I guess in that set they didn't have like counters and stuff, so they made it even worse.
Yeah.
to track.
So this deck won a Star City Games Legacy Open. Yeah, it's insane. Like how like because I imagine like the events were rather huge back then.
Yeah, they used to be bigger than they
had like hundreds of players. And then you show up with like Troll Ascetics into Unstable Mutation, and you win the tournament.
I can see this just running well though. Like,
it can.
I guess so. Geist probably had just come out, which means Liliana the Veil had probably just come out. But like, it's got a bunch of dorks to sacrifice first and stuff, and like 4 spell pierce 4 days. It's pretty fucking serious. I don't know, like,
but okay, but like, why would you want to play spell pierce instead of force of will then?
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't have that many blue cards.
Yeah,
I was going to say, you need your blue cards, and probably like, how many are there? There's 4.
24. Seems
yeah,
okay.
I get it. Yeah, like, why wouldn't you want to pitch an Unstable Mutation if you can cast it? Right?
I also feel like there's a lot of mana, like 20 lands plus 8.
Oh, you know what? No, I think we are totally good on the blue card loot. Like, all the 20 spells are all blue.
Yeah, there's 20. There's 24 blue cards.
24 is decent.
Yeah, and Geist is also blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse, I think, for not running Force of Will. But maybe it was.
I guess part of the idea is like back then people did play a lot of Liliana of the Whale. I guess you really want to fight over Liliana.
Yeah,
and
I get it here. I totally get no force. Like, you're gonna
the thing is, like, you don't have to protect your creature, right? Because there's a huge investment in your creature. But the only thing that really like gets rid of your creature, except for, I guess, Wrath of God, shoutouts to the Shuffle Shuffle,
and finishes deeds.
Yeah. So those 4 spell pierces stop what you're most concerned about.
Yeah, for sure. And and they can counter a moment's peace or something.
Right.
Oh, and then like the Unstable Mutation becomes worse.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times this player has actually pushed across for lethal damage by just like, putting Spectral Flight on Birds of Paradise and just getting in there for 2 twice.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good
happened.
point. Yeah, Birds of Paradise with like exalted triggers, dude, that's a serious threat.
Yeah, or just straight up Spectral Flight.
Yeah. Also, like 3 Silent Blasts is just insanely cool.
But imagine, like, you think you stabilized, you finally got your Liliana down, you minus, like the board is empty, you feel like, oh, nothing can ever happen to
There's
me.
no
Like,
red, no
blast
bolts.
you.
Yeah, and then they play Sonic Blast.
Oh, this is a great find. I've never seen this before.
Out of the game. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then like the sideboard has some regular stuff like Chill, Threats
Of course.
Like Threats of Disloyalty used to be or like a common card, I think.
Yeah,
back
Goif's
then.
just like great blocker
Yeah,
against this.
it reads Steel Target Tarmogoyf.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
Path to
much.
Exile. I like that. Philip just didn't pick any Swords of Plowshares. Like, yeah, I think he took the life loss, like life race thing very seriously. Path to Exile is in the sideboard instead of Plow.
I like that.
Because it's a number with Psionic Blast, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Submerge, Galactic, Ubizawajite. Dude, like, this is actually...
Yeah.
It's
Interesting.
Okay. It's okay.
I mean, even just like putting Misawa's Chitta on shoulder static, like that's already like pretty good.
Oh, that's
like,
broken.
even without any kind of broken straight
Yeah,
up.
because they can still they can block it, but you can just regenerate it and you keep doing it. Crazy.
Easy.
Yeah, like why isn't Jita in the main deck then? Why do we
Not
play
good enough.
Yeah, I guess maybe Anti-Limitation was just so much better than Jita. Like I don't know. But yeah, this is banned hexproof. There you go.
Cool.
Awesome. So my next one might be a little bit controversial, but I very much stand by it. The next one is the OG version of Monolith Stretch.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
the OG
wow.
version of Monolith Stretch was released in 2011. Up until now, the last post in the thread is from 2022. Over 4,000 replies are in there. So this deck, up until like 3 years ago, was like still discussed. And I want to make it very clear, we're not talking about the good version, right? We're not talking about the versions that's, what's his name, Mafus van Gogh or something?
Yeah.
The one we initially ridiculed, but actually like it's really good.
It's 2022 when Probe got banned. Or when was that?
So Probe was banned in late 2011. That's true.
Okay. Like, I remember
September.
that's probably when people just stopped talking about it. probably.
So the deck was first posted by John Cox on the 25th of July in 2011. And actually, guys, I'm gonna just send you the link over here so you can take a look. And the issue I had with the deck was it was very much, a deck that needed a very specific metagame. And also, like, it helped when the opponent didn't know what they were doing. So for those guys who don't know what Monolith Stretch does, it draws 7, it chooses to be on the draw, and it just keeps. It doesn't even look at the cards.
Just
because it
very
literally
quickly,
cannot mulligan.
I love that we have 2 decks with Gigapede in so far.
I was just gonna say that. Like, how did you? Is that on purpose? Are you here to spike the card? Maybe.
Yeah, I actually
Maybe it goes
have
up
a
in
copy of
price
that.
after. Maybe it goes up in price.
No, it's going to
after
go down
this
in
episode.
price after this. It's one of the worst decks, right?
Because like you actually have to pay money to take it or something to get rid of it.
All right. Yeah. Take it away.
Gigapede is like a proper discard outlet, That's the whole idea of the deck. No, literally, this deck is so insane. It doesn't want to win the die roll, because if it does, it gives away what it is. So it wants to lose the die roll, it then wants to be on the draw, and it literally keeps any 7 it can have because it doesn't matter. It needs to keep 7, it needs to be on the draw, because what the deck does is it just draws to 8 cards and it discards, and then it passes. And it does it over and over again, and over time stuff builds up, and the best thing you can actually discard is the Phantasmagorian, and you really, really, really want to have that one in your opening hand, because forget what the card does in play. The whole idea is, if it's in a graveyard, you may discard 3 cards, and you can return it from your graveyard to your hand. And notice, it's a cost. So you can literally discard 6 cards if you want. You can activate it again and again and again, as long as you don't resolve the ability.
Them on top.
Yeah, you can stack them on top by discarding your hand. And that's the whole idea, right? You discard Phantasmagorian, ideally. Otherwise, I guess you can also like discard Golgari Gravetroll or like any kind of dredger. And if you happen to open on a 7 that doesn't have any kind of dredger,
What do you do?
I guess you can go to 6, but then like your opponent gets literally a time walk, and then you hope that you have a Phantasmagorian in there. But then if you're on the play, it's even worse, because then they have 2 time walks. Like, you sometimes, on some occasions when they really didn't have a dredger, they would just go, being on the play, pass. You make a first turn, they draw, pass. You make a second turn, they pass. And they discard something. to be fair, that didn't happen all that often, because they really play a lot of dredgers and Phantasmagorians and I guess Gigapede, which also allows you to discard cards. But holy shit, was that deck bad, unless you literally happen to run into decks that really couldn't beat it, or like this deck was trying to eat control decks alive, and it kind of did. Like it helped a lot that those control decks, they didn't really have like a quick way to close the game or run away with the game. Even something like Chase eventually would probably like beat it, even though I guess Icarate is pretty good against Chase. But,
Right. That's the whole point of this deck, right? Like this. So when I was introduced to this Mana Stretch deck, I was told that this is the deck where it does not care about a single spell you cast. Like, it doesn't cast many spells anyway, but it's like just lots of triggered abilities. You just beat counter magic.
Yeah. And then, like, when you eventually want to cast a Dread Return, you like Kabara Therapy a couple of times first.
Yeah, it can grind like crazy, but without casting spells.
For me, this is one of my absolute favorite decks of all time, just because it's so weird. I'm always attracted to decks that are just kind of cards that shouldn't really be put together, working in unintended ways, I adore. So it's just always been like a deck which I used to have, and I played it a few times, and I played Mana Dredge as well, but I've always liked Manaless because it was just the weirdest one. So whenever I play against it, I'm like, I get trounced usually, but I just think it's such a sweet, sweet deck. It's such a cool idea. Like, this is the kind of thing that could have very easily just never been realized and never noticed and gone under the radar forever, really. It's so weird. Like Phantasmagorian, like who thinks to just hold priority and discard your hand?
You know, Phantasmagorian, I mentioned this as what I think like a really terrible deck in the grand scheme of things, like given how actually was like a really established deck. And so we're not talking about like bullshit decks, but in the realm of established decks, I think this is really bad, but at the same time it's amazing that it exists. Even like if you have somebody coming into Legacy and they've played for a while, and then you're like, you know, you actually have no idea how deep this format goes, and then like you unleash Manaless Stretch on them, and they're like, holy shit, like what's going on? And you just
this is like, sometimes I'll watch like another game's Twitch channel just out of interest, and this is what it feels like. It's just complete nonsense. You have no idea what's going on.
You play for like a month or two, and you think like, oh yeah, I kind of start to understand how this like game and format and everything works, and then like somebody has like this completely thing out of left field. Love that. Also, Phantasmagorian, by the way, it made for this weird moment, right? You kind of wanted to like target Phantasmagorian with your Graveyard Hate, but at the same time, that's what they were waiting for, because then in response, they would activate it twice and put the stuff that you really wanted to remove from the graveyard. So it's just like, well, do I target it? Do I not target it? I usually would not target it and rather go for something else, but
So hard to know. Because like the good players would like, if they had a Street Wraith in hand, that's going to counter like a Surgical. I guess Surgical wasn't even out at this point.
I mean,
but,
this
like,
deck's pretty good for Surgical, no?
Yeah and no.
Like what do you? Yeah,
I would not call this deck good against Surgical.
I mean, it sucks against Rest in Peace, but what do you even take out with Surgical?
The deck cannot beat Leyline of the Void post board.
Because in a sideboard it's like 4 Contagion and then like a list of all kinds of creatures that can be exchanged for Iona or Woodfall Primus in the main deck.
I like how there's just like a 4th copy of Gear Pit in the sideboard because they just like don't know what else to put there.
That's hilarious.
The classic 3-1 split. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like Giga Pit, I guess it can take out like a Dark Confidant or some. I'm actually trying to think of like a Graveyard Hate creature that takes out Ruthard Rudge. No, it distributes 2. Okay, so it can take out Ruthard Rudge. It can take out like an ungrown Scavenging Ooze. I guess that's the idea.
I mean, Scavenging Ooze wasn't even out there yet, I think, in 2011. Was it? Okay, wow, then, Like Jixlet Jailer also saw some play, I think.
Yeah. So, also something else, by the way, this deck can't even play Leyline of the Void, because if you have Leyline of the Void in your opening hand, it's a time walk for the opponent.
Oh, no. This deck does not want to empty any
You know what else there is? Like
funny.
Later on, the deck was still around. Like Deathrite Shaman activation, that's a time walk. Discard spell, that's a time walk. Relic of Progenitors, tap for time walk.
I do remember like when I was playing loads of Shardless, like Thoughtseize and Inquisitions were like absolute premium against this deck, because sometimes you'd have to take like a card you don't want in the graveyard, especially like Inquisition would be weird if you'd hit like a Dread Return and a Street Wraith, and you're like, fuck, gotta take the Stinkweed Imp. But yeah, discard spells were insane.
Yeah, Chemotherapy against this deck was especially funny because you really wanted to hit, but then there were really only so many cards you actually did want to hit.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, I'm trying to remember, what did we name in the blind? Like, you don't name the Dredgers, you don't name Phantasmagorian.
If they never mulligan, there's like a high chance they have everything. So you name like Narcomoeba probably.
Narcomoeba is good. I think Street Wraith is also good.
Oh, Street Wraith makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes the most sense, because then they could like cycle.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was the deck. Like, I played against this deck quite a lot with like the old elf deck back then. And yeah, having discard spells in the sideboard was just like so good, especially since they made you play first, right? So it's just like, okay. Good. Death Ray Shaman activate. Oh yeah. See, later on, I guess they would play Contagion to get rid of Death Ray Shaman. So it's just like, oh my god.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so much work. But yeah, Relic of Return just literally tap for Time Walk.
But that's the thing, right? Like you can only play Contagion on Death Ray Shaman after you've after your first or second turn, because you need to go to your cleanup step first, because that's a double Time Walk. Like if you Contagion before your discard step.
Oh, that's so bad, right? Yeah. and then Death Ray Shaman is active.
It's pretty terrible, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess you can see why I picked this deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, shoutouts. I'm happy it exists.
I think it's like, this could be another definition that makes sense, because like it's bad within its I guess the level it was said to be at, like how good it was comparatively. That's the word I'm looking for.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I got 2, maybe 3 more decks, but I want to hear what Callum has. What else Callum has?
Okay, I'm going to do one which maybe is on your 2 lists as well. It's going to be good old Pirate Stompy, Popeye.
Oh, you bet I got that on my list.
Yeah, so I couldn't even find... there wasn't ever a list, was there? That was the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just post something so we can kind of like remember what was in there. But then,
okay, so the list I posted over here, that's the one from Hipsters for the Coast, because at the very end, Bob posted a list, and that list, of course, was like the introduction to like a fake article, and then like halfway through the article, he was like, it was all a ruse.
Yeah.
And yeah, but the Hipsters of the Coast one, the one I posted here, that's the one where people were still trying to figure out the list.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was pretty cool.
So if anyone didn't know what happened with Popeye Stompy, it was... I can't remember exactly.
2017.
2017, okay. So Julian, myself, and a bunch of other idiots...
Bob Wang?
Yeah, Bob, in a Facebook chat, we just said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we just kind of like made up that this pirate deck, Popeye deck, was beating us in Magic Online leagues? It was so... There was nothing else to it. It was not deep. It was just like, yeah, that sounds dumb. We're bored at work. Let's do that. So I think, like, Julian, you posted a tweet saying, oh my God, just beat it. Oh, got destroyed by it on Twitter. And then I replied saying, shit, oh yeah, it's so good. I just 5-0'd with it. I'm going to 5-0 again or something. And then,
I think the way it started out, if I remember correctly, was that we were talking about legacy deck names, and at some point I was like, people don't even question like deck names and stuff. You could literally just post, hey, I just 5-0'd with Popeye Stompy, best deck ever, and people would be like, oh yeah, Popeye Stompy, sure.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and then I posted that, and you caught on to it immediately, and like posted accordingly, and so did Bob and everybody. And we literally...
That was it.
That's the whole beauty of it. We literally never mentioned a single card ever, not a deck. We didn't really hint at anything. Like, we did small things, right? When I posted my Elves deck list on Magic Online, you can see the deck list names on the left side. Your created decks, and I had like Popeye Stompy combo, Popeye Stompy no combo, like these minor clues.
I think that was my idea. I was just like, we need to like get it into screenshots we post by mistake.
Yeah.
But Popeye wasn't even a pirate, but it was just people latched onto pirates. It was so.
That was the first evolution, right? People took it and they were like, oh yeah, it's Pirate Stompy, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
We literally, like, the beauty is like we never involved ourselves in their discussions. Like we literally just started it out, we started the fire, and then like it exploded all over Legacy for a couple of weeks, and I loved it so much.
The most fun time. They even like changed the Reddit like banner to Popeye.
Really? What?
Yeah. So there is no list to share, it's just the idea of it. But people were playing Rishadan Cutpurse and all the Rishadan Footpad, and basically the pirates, like, they'd be like
Brigand. Brigand, yeah, that 5 mana, 3/4 flying thing that makes the opponent sacrifice permanent.
4/3 even. Funniest thing was
perfect.
I lost to this in a tournament as well. Like,
so did I.
Yeah,
I actually lost it. Somebody played a ghost ship. Oh, it was Pleasant Kenobi, yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost ship. And I had abrupt decay, and I could like disrupt it's like an actual proper creature, but I had to like abrupt decay ghost ship.
The other fun things were like it was. Oh, what was the card? It was Siren's Ruse was the card we were saying was like the most busted one. It was like a 2-mana blink, and if it was a pirate, you draw a card. Yeah. And then it was just a stompy deck. I 3-2'd a few leagues, like genuinely.
Okay. So because at the end of the day, it's a mono blue Ancient Tomb, Seed of Traders, like Stompy deck with just like
Yeah, so you,
like what's the most consistent creature? Is there like a creature that's always been in all list, like a signature?
Yeah, the
Seadra?
Rishadan Cutpurse and the Rishadan Footpad.
Oh yes, and the Brigand was like a 5-mana 3/2 flyer.
Yeah, that kind of like that. It was like
It spiked
20 or 30 euros
$40,
at some point. Yeah, it was insane.
That was the only one, but it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've still got a signed Rishadan Footpad from that tournament that I got beat. I think I won the tournament, but that was my loss. Was this fucking deck?
4-mana 2/2 when it ETBs, each opponent sacrifices a permanent unless they pay 2 mana.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. So what you do very often is like play a turn 1 Chalice, and then they play a land, and you follow up with a Rishadan Cutpurse. They sack their land, and then you've got a Chalice and a 1/1 in play. And they play another land, and you play the Footpad. And they sack their land.
Dude.
And then you play a Trinisphere, so they just can't cast anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
mono blue land destruction.
and then you like Siren's Ruse, blink them again.
Dude,
You're almost making this sound like a deck, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot about the sideboard. People were putting Show and Tell and like Sneak Attack in the sideboard.
And by the way, the article I shared here, the one from Hipsters of the Coast, so they're like, okay, I got this information, so apparently this is what the list is looking like, and then like they post an update. This morning I got another list from fellow Hipsters of the Coast, blah, 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 blah.
You'll see it runs more pirates than the original list I was given. So the transformational sideboard that turns the deck into Steak and Show. I think this is the greediest mana base I've ever seen in my life.
What is this, like 4 Ancient Tomb, 4 Cavern of Souls, 2 City of Traitors, 4 How do you play 4 Wasteland in this deck? It literally has like 3 islands to make mana. To get that mana.
It's hilarious. And 2 volcanic islands in the sideboard because you need to cast Sneak Attack.
Full proper. Yeah, terrible.
I love how they call it Crystal Brand instead of Crystal Brand.
Nice.
Sorry,
Crystal Brand.
I guess it's called like. I guess they only have Smuggler's Copter in there because like it has like this pirate theme.
Yeah,
like because it's Smuggler's Copter.
Look in the first list. There's like 3 Hoodwinks.
Isn't that the one that bounces lands?
No. Oh,
I'm pretty sure it bounces lands.
yeah.
Enchantment, or land you can bounce.
Yeah.
I guess the idea is you can bounce the opponent's land, go to the second main phase, and then like hit them with a Cutpurse or something.
Hoodwink into Cutpurse, classic curve.
Yeah, but once you have like 5 mana, easy. We can do it in a single turn. Also, honestly, the smartest thing here is the Tabernacle of Pandora Vale, I guess. But yeah,
that's cool. Another thing you could do with this first list is Parallax Tide, and then exile their lands, and then you can hoodwink the Parallax Tide.
Oh, okay, that's deep. See,
so it's kind of like a mono blue stack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like stacks aggro. Is that fair to say? Like, you know, like the closest to like a Mishra's Workshop, Ravager shop stack in Vintage.
Yeah, it's not
like
even very aggressive, is it?
Yeah, like you deploy like a medium threat, but it has some disruption to it.
Stacks for sure. Yeah.
How's this deck playing like 2 copies of Mox Opal? Like I guess we have 4 Seed of the Signet and 4 Mox Diamond and 1 Chrome Mox, 2 Chalice of the Void. This is so random.
This was the first list. The other later ones had added more pirates, as we saw.
Yeah. Always add more pirates when in doubt. Yeah. That sounds right. Oh, dude, I love this. This was like for a couple of weeks. Like if you weren't around, you didn't really know because I think there was like a big tournament, like a really big. I think it was a Legacy GP coming up, and that was the whole idea, right? I think. Oh yeah, I remember. I first posted about it, and then you posted in the comments. Dude, I thought we were like saving this for the GP.
That was
like,
it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So dumb.
And then people really caught on to that, and they were like, yeah, okay, we gotta figure this out. Okay, we can break it. We can discover it before the GP. And people were like really into discovering Popeye Stompy. Yeah. And it was just like so much fun.
Quite a few people got a bit annoyed, but it was just most people realized it was just good fun.
Actually, I read about the Reddit thread, and like people were posting stuff like, okay, thus far we know that it has this and this card, and I was like,
yeah.
How do you know that? Like,
we didn't know.
We don't even know.
Yeah.
In a way, this was like the deck was created by the community. This is the ultimate community creation where people come together and they were like, nobody was right or wrong because there was no right or wrong. This is literally deck building, like how do you call that? Like crowdsourced deck building or something. People these days would like try to put it on a blockchain or something. I don't know.
It's a great experiment.
It was an amazing experiment. And I want to say in some way, I'm very, very proud of this, and I consider this one of the coolest things I've ever done in all of Magic, like not even like any tournaments or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Channel Fireball, they had this show at the end of every year where they would, give out awards to, I don't know, this deck, that player, this tournament. And they picked Pirate Stompy as the deck of the year 2017.
I
And
forgot about that.
Oh, that's sweet.
that goes on my CV.
I love that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Pirate Stompy.
So yeah, that was my guess that we'd all have it on the
yeah.
list.
Okay, I just
Interesting,
deleted
'cause,
it from my
dude,
list.
I didn't know. I didn't even know that this deck existed for some reason.
Okay, were you like smoking pot or something?
Yeah, I
2017?
don't know, dude. Yeah, like what happened to me? Like I knew about what's it called? Surrender Befried, being like a
It's
thing.
the most random thing you
Yeah, like
know.
Surrender Befried plus Sea Drake. Like I think I played against someone
Yeah,
in
Sea
my
Drake
play
used to
group.
be like a sea. It used to be called Sea Stompy because
Yeah,
Stompy.
3 mana
Yeah.
4/3 flying when ETBs
Yeah.
return two
target lands.
Dude, you got
Yeah,
about
but
two
no,
lands?
that was the broken part about it. That was the broken part about Sea Drake because returns
City
two.
Traitors.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, Sea Drake returns 2 target lands. So if you have City of Traitors and Mox, Chrome Mox, for example, then you don't return any land because it doesn't have 2 targets.
Oh,
So the ability doesn't even go in the
wow.
stack because there's not. That's the whole idea behind Fairy Stompy, which is
cannot-
like a 2005 legacy deck. That was actually really good.
That's insane because like it looks like you can. I thought you can target the same land twice, but it doesn't work like that, huh? I mean, I guess. I mean, I wasn't a Sea Drake player back then.
No, you know why? Because nobody was. Because Sea Drake at the time was the most expensive card in Legacy. It was
It
one
used
of
to
the
be a
few
lot.
cards. It was 125 euros.
Are you
It
kidding
used
me?
to be the most expensive card in all of Legacy by far.
'Cause it's
Like
from
you could get a
Awful.
full.
What
You
was
could
it?
get more than a playset of Force of Wills. You could almost get 2 playsets of Force of Wills for a Sea Drake.
What was that?
Because it
Oh,
was a portal.
Oh, it's Portal only.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the Modern Masters 2 version right now.
No,
I was like,
no.
dude, like, okay,
Oh my god.
gotcha.
Didn't even know it
It's-
was reprinted.
It's kind of actually kind of funny that they reprinted this card in Modern Horizons 2 as an uncommon. Like who wants who wants to open this card as an uncommon like this? I don't know.
You
I
know,
don't get
you
it.
would play this on the first turn, and then on the second turn, you would play Sword of Fire and Ice and put it on an attack.
I mean, that sounds pretty powerful. I guess
Yeah.
like if you put it on any creature, it's pretty powerful. But yeah,
Yeah, but Sea Drake especially.
Sea Drake
It would hit for like
especially.
8 and draw a card on your second turn. Like,
uh-huh.
the fuck?
Okay, yeah, that's almost like putting a Sword of Fire and Ice on your Delve of Secrets. But yeah,
Yeah.
Or sort of
It's
like
good.
Shadow
I've
in
seen
your
that before.
Stoneforge Mystic.
yeah. Oh man,
love-
dude!
loving
Like, dude,
this.
we've talked about so many decks already. There's definitely one. I believe we have the same deck on all this because it's probably like the king of all trash decks.
Ooh, now I'm
And-
curious because I'm pretty sure you don't have my last one. I'm almost 100% certain.
So here's the thing, right? Like, so I think that the last deck, I have at least on my list, is probably the one you probably also have on your list. But it is so hilarious and the absolute king of everything we've talked about today that I kind of want to save it for the last one. But
Big
I
words.
don't have
Okay.
but I don't have another one to go before because then otherwise we'd be talking for
Is
5
it red?
hours maybe. No, it's not red at all. It's
Oh.
mono blue, dude.
I was thinking the same thing, Julian.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. It'd be hilarious if you don't have this on your list because this also saw some coverage play too.
Okay, I don't because my last deck is actually mono black.
Okay,
I've got that one on my list as well.
is it okay if I talk about it or
Yeah,
like, do you
yeah.
want to talk about it, Callum?
No,
All
do-
right. So this is I did a little bit of research. This is a deck from 2014. Played by
2014 mono blue.
Gregory
Oh,
Hatch,
yeah.
called Mono Blue
Oh.
Matter, 2014, and it was on coverage on I think it was like round 3 on Star City Games,
Mhm.
and both players were 1-1, and Patrick Sullivan and Cedric Phillips, they mentioned that Gregory only had a loss because he came too late to the tournament, so he was actually undefeated with this deck in round number 3, and it's hilarious, dude. So I'm gonna read out the deck list as a whole because it's a wild mishmash. 2 copies of Aether Vial, 1 copy of Chain of Vapor, 4 Curse Catchers, 4 Days, 4 Disrupting Shoals, 4 Fluster Storms, 4 Force of Will, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 islands. 4 copies of Judge's Familiar. For everyone who doesn't know, it's basically Curse Catcher, but it's like a hybrid white-blue card. Flies and has the same text, I think. 4 copies of Meteor of Frost. And 1 blue for 1/1/2. Reveal X blue cards from your hand. Sacrifice Meteor of Frost. Counter target spell unless its control pays X. 3 copies of Ninjas of Deep Hours. 4 copies of Nif Magus Elemental. 1 Scab Ruinator.
This is the funniest one.
Of course.
Fucking Scab Ruinator, dude. 4 copies of Sky Hussar. And this is the backbone of this entire deck, Sky Hussar.
This is Straw Engine, right?
It really
yeah.
is. It really
1
is.
Snapback. 3 copies of Spellstar Sprite and 2 Wastelands. I'm gonna copy paste this deck list in our chat. So this is it. How do you even start? It plays out like Merfolk, but it really doesn't. Like you have lots and lots of counter magic, and you have the draw engine Sky Hussar, which is like you never cast this card, by the way. You also can't. Yeah, you don't have a single way to bring this card into play, except the Aether Vial, up to 5.
Yeah.
It's 3 white and blue for a 4/3 flyer. When it ETBs, untap all creatures you control. But the important part of this card is the forecast ability, and I think the forecast ability was only printed in the in that block, right?
Yeah,
like this
Replica.
Dissension
Yeah,
Replica.
we never saw it again.
So for the forecast, cost is tap to untap the white or blue creatures you control, reveal Sky Hussar from your hand, draw a card. That's it. So what you do is you play your Curse Catchers and your Meteor of Frost, Judge's Familiar, and Spellstarter Sprites, and then you keep tapping them on your upkeep and reveal Sky Hussar to draw an extra land.
I remember that.
And you draw one of your trillion counter spells because you have 4 Flusterstorm's Main, 4 Days, 4 Disrupting Shoal, 4 Force of Worlds.
I feel like this is closer to like a Prisoner of Stacks deck than like a Tempo Delver deck, in a weird way.
Yeah, because like almost every single creature can counter something, right? Like you have 8 curse catchers.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Meteor of Frost, which is a hard counter because pay 2, reveal X blue cards. Your deck's full of blue cards. You reveal, I don't know, like 3-4 cards, and then you attack.
I mean, it's like a 3-mana counterspell, but like it's split across 2 costs, and it can tap for the Sky Hussar, and then you can return the Ruinator with it.
Oh yeah, dude.
Synergy.
Should we talk about the Ruinator first or Nif Magus? Because I think like Nif Magus is the actual win condition in this.
I was gonna say that's like actually one of the good cards in the deck.
Yeah, Nif Magus Elemental also saw some play in other decks. I think like in Prowess decks and in some other like blue-red decks. It's a hybrid blue and red for a 1/2. Elemental from Return to Ravnica, and it says exile an instant or sorcery spell you control, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Nif Magus Elemental. A crazy synergy with Flusterstorm, of course, because you can exile all the Axis copies of Flusterstorm to bump your Nif Magus Elemental, and
I remember that.
Yeah, you can make this guy
idea, right?
You can make this guy huge.
It's going to put your opponent like in a horrible position where like you cast a Flusterstorm for like 5 copies, let's say, and then they have like 3 or 4 mana up. And they have to then like pay for the other ones, otherwise it grows your Nif Magus Elemental. It's quite funny.
Oh yeah. It like you can also like Flusterstorm maybe your own spell. Is that possible with this deck?
Probably cast like a
you probably would do that at times.
Yeah,
but I imagine like there is like some crazy stacks where maybe there's like a counter war or something, and then you have like Flusterstorms. And you can also like you can eat any sorcery spell, even like your own. Maybe, I guess it had also some synergy with Chain of Vapor, maybe, if you copy it.
We're getting really deep into this.
I think I'm like getting like way too deep on this. Ninja of the Deep Hours is the other card advantage engine next to Sky Hussar. You can pick up your Curse Catcher or something else and then, draw a card. And then there's fucking Scab Ruinator as a one-off. And spoiler alert, there are 2 more copies in the sideboard.
So when you really need to Scab Ruinate.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this out just because I don't think that many people know what Scab Ruinator does. It's 1 blue, 3 mana for a 5/6 crazy stats for a zombie horror creature, and as an additional cost to cast the spell, exile 3 creature cards from your graveyard. It has flying, and you may cast Scab Ruinator from your graveyard. Why is this card in the deck?
It's just to like get through
some fat.
loads of removal. It's for the the decks like Truffle, Shuffle, and
It's beefy, yeah.
Raven Wombat.
It's very beefy,
You
yeah.
can keep casting from the graveyard. Keep Wrath of Godding. Finish steeding it. Keep casting it.
It is a sticky thread. It is big too. The costs are something. I guess you can set.
3 mana,
I guess
5/6
you have
flyers.
like you have a bunch of Chris Catchers and Meteor Frost like that you have already used. So
That's 27 creatures. Like a lot of them that you sacrifice to do something. Like it's a lot. So I think it's quite easy to cast.
is there anything else I missed, or maybe on the main deck at least, Callum?
No, main deck is as normal as it could be.
As normal as it gets.
I love the 2 Aether Vial. It's just like
Standard.
Yeah, dude, send it.
Standard build.
Yeah, the sideboard has 2 back to basics, 2 copies of Divert. That card used to be a phenomenal card versus Abrupt Decay, I think.
and Hymn to Turek.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and him. Yeah. 1 copy of Ivory Tower.
Obviously.
Very nice card because this deck, you almost have a full grip in all of your turns. Like it's a bunch of shitty cards, but you almost have a full grip in all.
It's like
on
you're
every
one of
turn.
anti-burn tech.
Yeah, whatever. 2 copies of Piffin Needle, 2 extra copies of Scab Ruinator, as we talked about. The 4th copy of Spellstarter Sprite against more counter something. 3 copies of Submerge, and then 2 copies of Umezawa Jita. And I gotta tell you, I think Jita looks phenomenal in this deck.
Yeah, I bet.
Because all your creatures are so mediocre.
Something's gotta.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do we think about this deck? Like.
How deep did he actually go into the tournament? Like, did he actually do well with that deck?
So I looked it up. So he, good news is he finished the tournament. He didn't drop
Okay,
early.
that's good. I
You're
guess.
getting us excited for it.
Yeah, I think he made. I don't know. He was like 50th place maybe or so among several hundred players. It's not the best record ever, but like I think he
The match on camera
won more
made
than
it.
he lost.
Made it legendary.
Yeah, and the feature match, like we gotta clip the feature match somewhere on this podcast, because the feature match was this abomination versus mono brown stacks.
It's like Metalworker. Yeah.
Yeah, against like Steel Hellkite.
So they were literally casting like Steel Hellkites and Wormcoil Engines and shit.
Yeah, and this deck, I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how you recover from a Steel Hellkite if you play a deck with just a bunch of Curse Catchers.
Well, you block with a Scab Ruinator and then you bring it back.
Yeah. And I think the first game also went like 30 plus minutes or so. Like I think they ended up. I don't know the outcome of this.
I'm gonna watch it again when we finish this.
Maybe it was like an unintentional draw or something.
Oh, I can't
Which is
remember.
probably
Actually.
pretty good for Gregory Hatch.
That's like the best undefeated. Like lost round 1 because you didn't turn up in time. Won round 2, draw round 3. With this thing.
This deck is absolute phenomenal. It's it should really go. Like if there's like a Legacy Hall of Fame deck list archive or something, this definitely deserves a spot in top 3, really.
Yeah.
Definitely make sure to post the link in our chat, so I'm gonna add it to the show notes for the feature match video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Fucking Sky
Okay.
Star, dude.
So I just realized actually I have 2 more decks, but one is more like a shout out. Callum, how many do you still have?
Well, I've got like a bunch ready. So I'll be honest, I actually had the ones that I've done have been later on the list, and then they just fit as where we're going. So I have some archetypes I was going to kind of shout out as well, but it's getting quite long, so we could do like a part 2 potentially. What are you thinking?
I guess we can do that. Yeah. Oh, dude, I have 2 more that I want to share so badly,
Right.
but actually that's gonna work really well for our part 2 then.
Well, we
Dude,
can.
I want to share them so badly.
No, we
But
can just do
we're
them.
gonna-
Let's do them.
No. Let's do them next time. You know, this is. Oh no, now we teased people,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, you know what? What we can also do is like now is also the time for our listeners to also, if you
Send
guys have like
suggestions.
so you know the level of decks we talked about, right? So if you guys have something similar, maybe we missed something, maybe you guys have a deck list from some tournament, you know, that
Mhm.
did actually pretty well, maybe.
There's
Or
going
had
to be
some
some
hilarious cards in it.
amazing ones we've forgotten as well, for sure.
Yeah, please
There
post it
are
on Discord
some.
and reach out to us because the world needs to know all this goodness. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do it like that. I like that.
Give us the overgrown tombs. Not overgrown tomb. Overgrown estates. That's the one.
States.
There's probably a couple more. Like, there's probably somebody out there who just literally put a value overgrown estate in their deck. I wonder whether I actually did that in modern enchant in extended enchantress. I might have done that.
It's the value slot.
Okay, I mean, if you flood out, you can gain some life.
It's like in the sideboard, it's for the grindy matchups.
It's for the grindy matchups. Oh
Yeah,
man, dude.
I mean, if you expect Armageddon, you can at least get some value out of it.
Cool.
The age-old legacy question: how much life is one card worth? Like, at which point would you rather gain X life than draw a card if it was like for free?
I think it's like 12 to 15.
Yeah,
It's so heavily matchup dependent, right?
Yeah. Because, against control, it's completely meaningless. But
yeah, against burn, I would also take 5 or 4 points.
You'd play Renewed Faith and gain 6, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
The interesting part is, like, if you knew this ahead of time, then you would completely, like, build, let's say in a control mirror, right, where it usually doesn't matter at all. If you knew it ahead of time, you would totally build your deck completely different, right? So, anyway, that's a totally different discussion.
Fine.
So I guess we're going to wrap it up here. I wanted to end with like a discussion about like how legacy deck building and like how we perceive decks have changed, but I think that's also going to be something for a future episode then. Dude, guys, I had so much fun. And I literally have my 2 best decks yet to come.
Okay.
So the next episode's going to be better. I've got 2 that are pretty good waiting as well.
Hell yeah.
But waiting for suggestions as well.
Hell yeah.
Like,
okay, before we close it off, I want to give like a very quick shout outs though.
You went on a holiday to Luxembourg of all the places.
Dude.
This is like what Americans would meme about Europeans.
You're a fucking mind reader, dude. Because I was going to mention Luxembourg and Mana Temple. So there was an ELM qualifier in Luxembourg last weekend. I was there for the first time. And one of my good friends, Ty, opened the shop last year. And it was like one of the cleanest and nicest stores and like a very nice community too. So shout out to Ty, shout out to Mana Temple. If you're in the Luxembourg area, or maybe you live in
the Luxembourg area, literally the whole country.
Definitely check out that store because it was phenomenal. So
they've got a really good Navy museum as well.
I think they actually do.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
So what was it like going on a holiday to Luxembourg?
Oh, so it was mainly because of a 2-day event. Like we had the Legacy ELM qualifier, and then we had some Modern and some Commander and CDH and some other stuff on Sunday. But I was also there for private reasons because one of my friends had their wedding the next week, so I was kind of like in the area.
Oh, that's why you ditched us. That's why you didn't release an episode.
That is true. Yeah.
You should like have it like live recorded from the ceremony. Something
with
like
my
that.
Potato mic. Yeah.
Why did we actually not stream your wedding? I just realized we lost out on so much value.
Oh, no worries. I'm gonna stream the next wedding then. Yeah.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know what the worst decks you ever encountered or even are aware of in the history and all of Legacy, even if it's just your friend Peter's terrible deck that he used to crush you with all the time.
Poor Peter.
And of course, check out impactreturns.com. It's gonna go down on 25th, 26th, and 27th of July in beautiful Naron, Spain, Galicia. We will give out a golden ticket, giving you entrance to pretty much all the tournaments on that weekend. Send an email to Julian at everyday-eternal.com. Let me know that you want to play in our golden ticket tournament by the end of the month. More details to follow on everyday-eternal.com. And of course, you can also participate if you don't have a Magic Online account. You can name your champion in, well, good faith or something. Don't name somebody who's very bad. Actually, that would be hilarious if you did that. That's bonus points for you. Maybe we're gonna have like a wooden ticket or something. Like all the events cost extra if you get last place. Risk reward, Yeah. Okay, so everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, by the way, for supporting Everyday Eternal. If you want to support the running of the show directly, you can do so on patreon.com/everydayeternal. That's how it works. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, especially these days where Twitter isn't really that much of a thing anymore. I feel like we're going back to like a lot of word of mouth, and I don't hate that. So yeah, shout us out. We're gonna shout out all of you. Yeah, you do. I actually keep an eye on the source, like what the activity is like, which forums and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Especially like doing research for this episode, I got a huge flash of nostalgia. Okay,
yeah,
so everybody, see you. Thank you so much, and have a great time playing terrible decks. Truffle.
Ciao.
Cheers, everybody.